is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moscow and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride. Whatever you ride.
Whatever you ride.
Ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Culture that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullaghar's got past, so Dylan.
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moscow and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get a good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SRWtv for a special promotional event here tonight. I just realised Sinker was listening to me in the background, so I had to quickly mute him so he didn't come over the stream twice. But I hope you brought your umbrella, ladies and gentlemen, and your snorkel, because it's time for us to go racing in the wet for the very first time here on Iracing, here on SRWtv. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro. Joining me alongside in the broadcast booth, as wet as ever, it is Stephen Sinkovic. Sinker, we know you love a bit of a spin, but I reckon some of these blokes, and possibly ladies if there's any out there here tonight, could be showing you up in these absolutely treacherous conditions.
Mate, they're going to know what my world feels like on a dry track. But it's looking epic, man. We've got over 30 cars out here already, and it's you can hear the rain in the background. I don't know if we keep it quiet enough. Can you hear it?
Nah, not really. All I can hear is the car, I'm going to be honest. But, I mean...
Well, this is a perfect trap for the fishy boys, but I can't see any fishes out there tonight. But,
yeah, I know. None of them have come from... You know what? Maybe they know that they'd be way too strong out there and they want to keep it, you know, nice for all the other competitors. You know, just let them have a chance at winning a race in the wet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready to go for a swim. I hope you've perfected your butterfly or your freestyle, because we're going to be, you know, diving and dipping all throughout 3 different classes of racing here tonight across 3 different servers. We start out obviously with the GR86s here at Oran Park. We got 20 minutes of qualifying. We're just about halfway through, so we will be able to keep updating you throughout this session. Then we've got 2 20-minute races. We then move over to a preview of the SR24s. I can still hear myself in the background, Sinker. We then move over to the SR24s out at Phillip Island in the wet as well, and that's going to give us a nice little preview for Season 2 of SRWtv next season, for when we actually swap over to the SF24 over the Formula 3 for our F3 Championship. And then later tonight, we've got IMSA action out at Le Mans with changeable conditions on offer to give us a nice little insight how multi-class madness is going to go with those changeable conditions, possibly as early as this week, but I don't think we should have changeable conditions, seeing as we're going to the Nürburgring, the longest track on the service. But Sinker, big night of racing ahead. We'll get right into this thing with qualifying, of course, here at Oran Park. The drivers are already struggling out there in the wet, but the lap times have already started to come in. GR86 regular Dan Bartish is already leading the way with a 127.4. We see a car already spun around there at the final turn. I think that might have been Sheafy. It was indeed on return from Japan, and he's saying konnichiwa to us and arigato for those drivers not hitting him on the way through the corner, but he's really thrown himself into the deep end here tonight.
Oh, look, mate, have a look at these puddles where the water's sitting, where it's not sitting, and now it's draining. And it's just looking spectacular. iRacing have been at the pain of all our existence for a while now. And I think for about 5 years now we've been hearing rumours of this rain and everything like that. To think that it's finally here, what next? Are we going to see the next gen V8s?
I think there is heavy rumours that is what is coming next for us here on board now with Dan Bartish. Just to give you an idea of these conditions and how much control there's going to be of getting the car. Jack was saying, can we get a new nickname for Steve? Instead of, Sinker, we can't really call you Sinker in this race because then you're going to drown. We need you to be a floater for wet conditions, don't we? I reckon it's gone right over his head, I'm going to be honest.
No, I was changing mic stands because
okay.
decided to go blank on me.
Okay.
And now I'm everything again, which is really cool. So I was trying to be professional and not mention it.
Oh, okay. Well, we have already had a call for a different nickname, possibly call you the Human Submarine because you're a sinker as well. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no,
Harry Dodd's also
that's
saying...
an old one, mate. That's a very old one.
Harry Dodd's also saying IMSA's going to be wild later on. Well, that will be coming up in a couple of hours' time. It's going to be all on for us here tonight across these three magnificent circuits. Obviously, we go from one that is no longer available to us in real life, which did host some fairly wild wet condition races in its heyday. I remember back in the early 2000s, even the late 90s, some wet races around here, and they were absolutely ballistic. Obviously, then we go to Phillip Island, which is almost undrivable in the wet, as the Englishman Jordan Ferguson just runs it wide there off the exit of one. He's not quite used to driving the 8.6s that often, is Jordan, but he's coming here, he's having a crack, and he's hoping to possibly make a return to SRW in Season 2. So he's just trying to learn the car once again and just see where he feels he fits in amongst this field.
Interesting thing tonight is we're actually seeing some F3 specialists out here, you know, Andrew Lydon, Brad Hudson. There's a few others in there as well that are popping in to having a bit of a crack and get their feet wet, so to speak. We've even got Mr. Gretton out there. G'day, Mr. Gretton, if you're listening. Good to see you on track, buddy. He's probably used to this weather because Queensland does put on some monsoon weather every now and again. It is a bit like Queensland weather at Oran Park, isn't it?
Well, I mean, even though it is in New South Wales, their weather patterns are fairly similar. Although you would say that if it was raining this heavily in New South Wales, it would likely be this heavy in Perth, where Mr. Hudson, the old admin for the F3s for us, would be used to these conditions if it was this wet in Sydney, because Perth runs on the exact same or a very similar weather pattern as they are directly across from each other here in Australia. But yeah, a whole heap of drivers out there from a heap of our different series that we run, some former drivers, possibly some new guys out there too. So it's really good to see this beautiful spread of what we could have on offer to us. And look at this, Keegan Caldwell, someone who normally struggles, and as I say this, he spins the car. He's up P2. He's up P2 at the moment. So, you know, maybe when he was a Class D driver, he was driving these things in the officials, and he's actually quite adverse to racing in the 8.6s, and he might be a little bit of a possible shouter here tonight, is Mr. Goatwell, as he's known in the chat from time to time.
Might possibly do. He's improved a lot in the Formula 3s, I'll tell you that right now. Here's one for you. We're sort of putting ideas out there of how we're going to implement the rain for next season. So in the cars where the rain's going to work properly, and it's going to be able to do the full field like multi-class and things like that, we're going to actually set it so it's respective of the current weather straight away. So if it's raining in the UK and we're on a UK track, we're going to have rain. So that way the admins don't get any advantages and no one else gets the advantage of what's going on. It's out there and it's spontaneous. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
What it means as well is unfortunately we're going to have to go back to our old safety car in the M4 GT3 BMW. I did make the comment that maybe we should just go to the 8.6 because at least it looks like a road car still. And it wouldn't necessarily look too out of place, you know, leading away an 8.6 field, especially if you made it nice and high vis so the drivers know that it is indeed the safety car and not a competitor.
I think the only problem is that some of those points where it's supposed to be doing 70Ks, that this car is going to be sprinting.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Mr. Leake, who blew the engine in the GT4 at Bathurst, he was trying to sprint it up the hill as well. So, but I think maybe this car would be good it would actually contain the field a little bit, because if this thing's struggling to get up to pace, well, they're going to be forced to stick in behind it, aren't they? Like they're not really going to be able to push it too hard and make a mistake. So, but all those things will be decided obviously in the future. Whenever we have a wet race, we will have to run a car that has wet weather for the safety car if we hope to have the safety car on track, because if it's a car that doesn't have wet weather, then it's going to end up just how Keegan has, falling off the track on its dry tyres, but Keegan's on wets at the moment.
Look, if you're out there watching as well, you know, you're quite welcome to join the other races. You probably struggle to get into the server now. You probably actually got 5 minutes to get into the server. It is a hosted race, SRW Wet. It's a Super Soaker series, and the pasture is SRW Wet.
Yep.
WET.
No spaces. We'll put it into the chat right now, so you have the exact password to put into Iracing if you want to come and have a bit of a splash and dash with us out here at Iron Park, or if you want to join us at Phillip Island in about an hour's time, or even at Le Mans in about 2 hours' time. So there's a heap of opportunities for drivers to learn these tracks and to have a good old crack. Hopefully some drivers later in IMSA make the smart choice and not go for the GTP. Hopefully some of them go for the GTD choice just to kind of settle themselves down a little bit. And just to see how they go.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. The other question is that will some of these drivers that race other series for us after tonight get hooked on this car and think, shit, I'm going to go and race this next season because it was a lot of fun?
Well, quite possibly, but it could also go the other way for IMSA or for SF24 as well. You know, it's going to be a nice little preview for that brand new car. Obviously, the first time we'll see it on our screens, the Super Formula Light or the SF24, which will be starting up as the Shannon's Insurance SF24 Nationals for Season 2. It will be replacing the Formula 3. And again, it's going to give us a nice little preview of that car, which I'm super excited about. I know I pushed so hard for the SF23 for Season 1, and the driver's like, oh, I don't want push to pass. I don't want push to pass. Well, now we've got the SF24, which I think has DRS and no push to pass.
Hamish, I've already done a livery for the Superlight.
Oh.
For our Team SRW. I was a bit trying to get my mind off work and everything like that. And I like being, when I'm in my graphic artist mode, that's when I sort of do these things. And I'm just going to send it to you, mate. And let's show it to the viewers and see what they think. I'm just trying to find where our broadcast.
So we've already tempted Jack Oz from the chat to come in here. So Jack Anderson is now out there in his 8.6 having a crack around here in the Velocity Racing Team entry, of course, brought to you by Alco Holder. I know the owner of that company personally, actually, James Bourbon. Great guy, absolutely fantastic company, based out of Sydney as well. So if you guys are looking for any they've got scented candles that smell like alcohol. So if you want that, I can personally recommend the vanilla bourbon candle. It is exceptional. If you're looking for a can cooler as well, you can't quite get pissed off it. But if you're also looking for a metal can cooler as well, or a big cup to put your drinks in, anything like that, go and check them out, guys. They offer some great products as well. So just a little shout out to those guys as well.
The Shannon's F3 Team SRW is in the series info for BC. If you want to show the viewers, let's see what they think. It's this is my it's not the final version, but this is the beginning of it, and it took me 3 hours just to piece the logo together. So immediately off the rip sinker, I think you got to go to that darker green that's currently on the car. I am a much bigger fan of the current darker green that's on the actual F3 that you've got. Well, it's actually two-tone. The darker color goes across the halo and across the nose, across the middle. So it gives it that extra bit of spunk. It is, I think, as you've said, reminiscent of the old British sort of colours and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the British
I've gone a
racing
little bit
green.
traditional. Yeah. So if you can show the viewers there, they can have a bit of a look. Tell me what they think.
So that's it just there.
These cars looking wet, though.
I know. They are absolutely... And you can see the spray as well. And this is not even the most amount of spray we're going to have here tonight. It's going to be even worse when we get into the multi-class action. Those GTPs are throwing up some absolutely mega amounts of water into the front of their competitors. So there is the SRW Shannon's entry for the SF24 for next season. Let us know what you think for the Team SRW. Well, I'm not a part of that team, so I won't be running that livery anytime soon. But no, I do think the current one, personally, in my opinion, is slightly better just because of that darker green. I think it is a lot more striking.
Oh, it will be a darker green.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it will be a darker green. It'll be it'd actually be a metallic dark green. It's going to be. I'm going to see if I can get that sort of like pearl sort of thing going through it.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I got you.
That's the aim for it. But anyway, we're nearly done with qualifying. We've got 3 minutes left.
No, we got about 30 seconds left. We got about 30 seconds left, mate. I'm just gonna correct you right there. You see as well, Michael Platt. Putting trying to influence, not influence, but trying to expand his knowledge of the wet, or trying to get his prowess in the wet by running the classic Castrol Celica livery here on the GR86. Looks absolutely gorgeous on this car. It's absolutely fantastic. Sheafy saying going to be a long race for me.
That's the rally version, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So our first of 2 races to come up, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight. Harry Dodd saying might give the SF24 a crack. Get out there, Doddsy. Have a go at it, mate.
100%,
It's going to be
100%.
absolutely fantastic. But our starting grid for tonight's race is like this. This is how they line up. Matty Gerard will start at a P1 ahead of Dan Bartish out of P2 here tonight, with Cam Hardwick and Mark Cochran making up the second row of the grid. It then goes down to Jake Edwards and Keegan Caldwell out of row 3, with Michael Platt and Matt Fearley in row number 4. We then got Mark Turner and Mick Clifton making up the top 10 here tonight, ahead of Ryan Price and Greg Johnson on the 6th row of the grid. We then move down to Jordan Ferguson, the one Englishman out there, giving us a nice little international flavour, alongside Shane Ratcliffe. 2 velocity cars of opposing teams, Sinker, lining up alongside each other. So Velocity Racing Team, head-to-head with Velocity Sim Labs. It's then Daniel Byrne against Martin Walker, with Tyler Sheaf and Brad Hudson in behind, with Kevin Wakefield and Jake Craven making up the top 20 here tonight. It's then Chris Tomlin alongside Andrew Lydon. They're in P21 and P22 with Anthony Tregedo. This is going to be, it's going to trip me up. Tregedo, I want to say, and Dougie Gowns. I feel like Cowie mispronouncing names at the moment, with Dougie Gowns alongside. It's then Peter Gretton making up the top 25 alongside Andrew Rushworth, with Stefan McCartan, our race controller here tonight, alongside Shane Newens. Steve Sinkovich is in here. You joined instead of watching Sinker. And then we got Mr. Barber.
It won't let me do anything else, mate. It wouldn't let me do anything else.
That's okay. We then got Mr. Barbs, Kyle Zink, and Jack Anderson making up the rest of the grid. I actually think we've actually gone to...
Mate, I've actually finished. People. I've actually qualified higher than I normally do.
Oh, how have you pulled that off? Absolute scenes, mate, from Sinkovich.
Get a wide shot so we've got it for the socials, mate, of all the cars on this track and cars going out and around the corner. It is going to be epic. Epic. This is going to be spectacular. We don't know what these cars are going to do on the start. They're going to go any second. The engines are revving. It's going to be very interesting what they do. Will they bog down? Will they spin? Will the arse move?
Green flag.
We've got green flag running, and one of them's already stalled. It's Matty Gerard. It is Matty Gerard, stalled it off the grid. They come down towards turn number 1 for the first time. Oh, they're already starting to blink in the rain. Oh, no. Oh, as we come down for the first time around turn number 1 here tonight of Oran Park. You see them already sliding.
Look at the Vermilion cars just coming in on the inside and made it nice and clean, amazingly enough, even though it's wet everywhere. Look at this. We get more carnage in the dry than we do in the wet. What the hell's going on?
Oh, I may need to stop streaming it into Discord because just to keep it nice and stable, but...
that's okay, mate. Cut it off. I can see the other end. If I lose it, I lose it. Bad luck.
That's cool. We'll do that then, just to keep it nice and stable for us. But it is Bartish in P1 at the moment. Haven't seen anyone go off track just yet. A couple of drivers, though, just slowing up a little bit. Sinker, obviously wet conditions. How long do you think it's going to be till we get a safety car here tonight?
I don't know, man. I thought we'd already have one, to be honest. That was like... that first corner is hard on the dry track to get clean, but the boys made it through. So, and this bit here coming up to the last corner is always a bit suspect as well, because of the way the cars go in. Oh, Greg's been bumped up by the look of it. There's a Carlin car having a bit of a fishy on the way through, but Greg's all right.
And look, you just notice then how long it takes him to get that car gripped up. Like it is so long to get it gripped up in these conditions. And this is now going to be the new challenge for us coming into season 2 of this year. Obviously, Rushworth, yourself, Sinker, McCartan, Barber, not all making the start. So we'll get them off our timing tower just so we're not looking at probable conditions or incorrect things on our tower, of course. Actually, it's even less than that.
Who's gone for a different livery tonight? He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was running this on Thursday. It's almost like it's almost like the Toll HSV car from 2005.
Yeah, it's like the Young Lions.
Yeah. Peter Gretton's had an off track.
Now. He must love the wet. He's sitting on a 134.269. That's pretty good for Bartush. I mean, he's been really fast of late, but it's good to see him out and about and getting out there.
Mr. Gretton just runs it a little bit wide, trying to keep it on the go-kart line on the edge of the track. It was then Shane Newens who also made a mistake, 2 down at turn 1. And this could be only a sign of things to come, ladies and gentlemen, for what is on offer for us. Oh, big drift from him. Catch it, son. He was very lucky there not to make it any worse for himself. But we're back up to the lead. Dan Bartish, yeah, he could be, maybe he is the sneaky king of the wet in SRW, Sinker, especially for these machines.
Well, maybe. It's a good way to get yourself, you know, there's drivers out there that are sitting fast, and becoming a wet weather specialist might be the way to do it. You know, we'll be doing some UK and European tracks. We can't always do Aussie tracks, and you're going to get rain. There's no doubt about it.
Ryan Price has also gone off. Mr. Gretton has already had a spin at the final corner as well, so we're starting to see some little struggle bugs starting to happen here throughout the field. Just checking in on Mr. Sheaf, of course, returned from Japan. I believe it was today that he flew in, if I'm correct.
Yes, yeah,
he's straight in the rig. Oh, that's Tomlin spun round.
Just a little bit too jangle. He's in VR. I haven't even had a chance, people, to go out there and have a run in the wet yet, and I run VR. It would be pretty awesome, but I don't know. iRacing's done something that my PC doesn't like, so I can't actually stay at the session. It keeps kicking me out.
I reckon it sounds like you may need a new processor at some point, Sinker, just to, or maybe some new RAM or something like that. I don't know.
It may be the case. We've got a SRW has a new PC supplier where we're going to be selling PCs shortly, and I might have to just get a new one and use this one for admin.
Phil, it is not too late for you to register. SF24 should be starting around about, I think 8:35 is when qualifying will be starting. The session is open, so you can hop in there and have a practice and just see how you go. Keegan Caldwell's had a big spin at the final corner. And again, these are just the little struggles. And if we're already seeing this sort of stuff here from the slower pace casting, what sort of carnage are we going to get from the faster pace SF24?
It's actually pretty docile. It's not that bad. It's like, that's actually a spot there where even in the dry, if you put the foot down a bit too hard, your arse end will slide out. So it's not too different to how the track goes. Oh, that was a big spin and hit into the wall.
And that was Anthony.
He's rolled straight in front of the.
He doesn't have control. The rear wheels are off the car.
He's rolled straight into the racing line. And got caught up with the rest of the crew. But tell you what, still a lot of boys out there. How are they lapping? They're all sitting there within. Oh, what is the gaps? Oh, the gaps.
The gaps are starting to spread a little bit here. There are a couple of short gaps, namely Ferguson versus Ratcliffe. So this little velocity battle between the bragging rights between two separate teams is still happening out there. One thing I will say, though, is we saw a very similar issue happen with Stephanie Piccoli out at Sebring on Thursday night, Steve, where she come into turn number 1, the front steering rack broke, and it actually lifted her rear wheels off the track, and she wasn't able to hold brakes, and the car just naturally rolled out in front of the traffic, and it caused all hell. Wasn't her fault, because she couldn't do anything about it. Like, she couldn't even hold brakes and stop the car. Like, it was just one of those issues.
Once you're a passenger, you're a passenger. There's no ifs or buts about it. Yeah.
So not
an issue at all.
Back up the front now with Bartish. Cochran trying to chase him down, possibly try and teach him a lesson. Is the Year 12 English teacher from Apex Esports League. Then they've got Jakey Edwards in behind, who had such an impressive performance last night in the IMSA series, but just threw it away in the end by making a late missed call in the pits of what could have been for Edwards and possibly getting a podium last night out at Daytona. It's already been a mega round so far for round 6 for a Sinker. I mean, obviously the Supercars Tuesday night, absolutely epic, been race of the season. Wednesday night, it was absolute carnage out at Bathurst. Thursday night for the 8.6s offered us up a good idea of how little heat races can go around such a long circuit at Sebring. Gave us a good amount of carnage to a good amount of battling too. And then last night at Daytona gave us a good little insight of how well your strategy can actually benefit you over the course of a stint in a race. And we saw it play out to perfection for a couple of those drivers. Fritzy saying this isn't even the heavy rain setting. Well, Fritzy, even iRacing said they're never going to set it to heavy rain because it's literally like a monsoon and it's undrivable. Like, you can't even drive out there on the heaviest setting for a majority of a race. So,
I'm just thinking, Hamish, is there a way I could go into the main lounge where all the guys are driving and talk to them so the viewers can hear it?
There is not. I would have to do that.
There is not. We'd have to drag them all in, or you'd have to go in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I see Shibby in there. He's not in this session, but I expect him possibly to come into another session. We can maybe drag it. Maybe you can message Shibby or go have a chat to him. See if he wants to have a chat to us, and if he does, you can bring him back with you. How about that?
No, I'm not even going to ask him, mate. I'm just going to drag him in, mate. I'm the boss.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's still a paid employee.
Kyle Zink has had an incident up the back of the field as well. What's happened to him here?
We've got a hostage here, Hamish.
Oh, we do? Oh, as we
Yes,
look
we've
at
got a
Kyle
hostage,
Zink having
mate.
an incident.
The legendary Nathan Shivy Howard. How are you, buddy?
I don't know if
That's
it's
what he's not there.
I bet you he's not. I don't reckon he is.
Oh, mate. I've taken a hostage and not even a bloody victim to take in.
I know.
All right, we'll have to boot him out then. That was a waste. Oh, man, I thought that was a sick idea.
You could bring Hutto in. He's mid-race.
He probably needs to focus because he's probably a bit out of his depth there.
Probably.
Let's bring Pricey in. As long as he doesn't swear, we should be right.
Phil Vella saying, how do you know how much rain will fall? We can actually set it. So there is a limit of how much rain will fall. When we go to dynamic weather, there is a setting, I believe, you can put in which will actually limit the amount of rain that will come.
Correct. So if we're racing in Japan and having a hurricane that day, we will set it some mild rain.
Yeah, I was about to say the red flag would be coming out for sure if that were to be the case. So we're nearly up to halfway in this race, Sinker. Lap 7 of proceedings at the moment. Kevin Wakefield's had another incident. It's kind of becoming the narrative at this point is every couple of laps we have someone having a bit of a spin or putting it into the wall. I see how he's done it. And it seems to be happening a lot up at the final corner. I have to wonder, is there a puddle there that they're driving through into the braking zone?
There is. It's this corner coming up the hill, mate. It's slippery in the dry.
Yeah,
Pricey,
I reckon.
can you hear it?
I reckon it's the actual racing line. It's because you have to run on the outside of the circuit to then cut inside. It's that wet that it's actually then hurting them under brakes a little bit.
I don't reckon Pricey's got his mic on either.
Oh. No one wants to chat to us, apparently.
What's going on with these boys? Are they just petrified solid or something?
I see his mic moving. There he is.
Oh, there he is. There he is. How are you, buddy?
Oh, hey guys. How are you?
Good, man. How's it feeling out there? How slippery is it?
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah, you're right. You got to concentrate hard. It's like being a beginner again, I guess.
Yep. We're coming up. We're on you right now. This right-hander, as you're coming up the hill, looks like it's slippery during the dry, but it looks like it's treacherous. This bit right here.
This one here, where I'm going through over the hill.
Yeah.
You can take it if you ride like that. It actually doesn't spin you too much. It's this corner here.
Yeah, it looks like because you're running the entry into the corner on the racing line, it's always more slippery. Pricey, have you tried an entry where you run the inside of the corner but then actually head out to the outside before you actually turn in?
There's also a puddle in that little dipper, and I think you start to wheel slide as you hit the puddle. So it's
there
like
is
your
actually a wet
wheels
weather
lock up.
line guide as well.
Oh, no. No, do I get bonus points for talking?
Yes, you do, mate. There is a wet weather racing line as well, which you can pick too. I saw it on one of the Iracing info things. So, but it's all solid blue, a blue arrow rather than a green arrow and red arrow. So it's blue as the main colour.
When you hit the puddles, you're hydroplane, so obviously you can't slow down.
Yep.
So there's some corners, if you start hydroplaning, you can't wash enough speed off. So I think that's why people are spinning.
Are you using the engine to slow yourself down?
I'm trying to use the gears halfway through a corner, actually. I notice if you drop back too quickly, if you drop back too quickly, it all your aids set in, like your traction control and all the ABS. So I found if you let the gear labour a little bit, and
you notice how he has to concentrate for this last corner.
Yeah. Have you got ABS full on and traction control full on?
I think so. Yeah, 3 and 3.
Cool. All right, mate. Look, we'll push you back to the roof. Thanks for coming in for a chin wag. It's good to get a driver's perspective. Have some fun, mate. Are you going to race the F3s?
I'll try if the wife and kids let me.
What about the GTs as well?
If the wife and kids let me, Sinker.
Just just put some extra stuff in their rigs.
No.
And there you go. There's that treacherous corner we've been telling everyone has been spinning at that corner. And I apologise, mate. Speaking to me makes you spin.
It's all good.
Catch you later.
Cheers, boys. Cheers to the broadcast. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.
Oh, you know what? Both him and Dougie did it almost at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Egan's in the other room as well. Maybe he wants to chat.
I doubt it. He's struggling up the back.
Yeah. Okay, viewers, is there anyone particularly you want to see? Because we've got a lot of people who are watching, and there's a lot of little battles going on. Matty Gerard is over the back of Jack Craven at the moment, down at in the 14th, 15th, having a bit of fun. And behind him is Brad Hudson, and he's got Greg Johnson behind him, chasing him down. So Hutto is he's actually doing really well. He's on the back of Jake Anderson too. So he's taken the duck to water for this car, mate.
Yeah, he is, and this little camera angle here gives us a little perspective of the amount of spray that is getting chucked out the back of these 86s on board here with Jack Anderson of Velocity Racing Team. So he had a little bit of a moment, but now he's been dragged into this little battle off the back of it. He's got Craven and Gerard.
He's up 18 places, mate.
He is, mate. He is. He's
up 18 places. And the next one's up to that is Shane Ratcliffe and Tyler Sheaf, both up by 8 places. So the boys are putting in a mega show. Kyle Zink, he's up by 8 places. Peter Gretton 1.
I think this is coming down to the fact of the survival, and just trying to keep it as clean as possible. I know I've seen Jack have a couple of moments out there already, but again, he's got some pace about him, but he's just trying to keep it as in line as possible. He knows how to drive the car in the rain. It's just about putting those knowings and that knowledge into effect pretty much and into practice. But we got Mr. Iceman asking us to look at Mr. Mark Cochran, of course. So Mark Cochran doing pretty well for himself at the moment. Had a strong run.
Sitting in third. Fastest lap at the moment is 1:24.786 by Cochran. Doing really well. And your teammate, Stephanie Piccoli, is doing her other job tonight, which is being her maid of honour for her sister's wedding. So she's got to do a speech and everything. I told her today, good luck and have some fun.
We tried sorting out a little live stream so we could get it all set up for us here. But there goes Mark.
We've mozzed him.
And Cam Hardwick's going to come on through.
Cam Hardwick's taking advantage of that. He's gone right through. Followed by Michael Platt.
And Shane Ratcliffe as well.
Tell you what, this is a new dimension in racing and iRacing, and it's something that we've all been waiting for a long, long time. And it's really gonna change the dynamics of it. It's going to be different. There's going to be wet weather specialists that are people that are really practicing the wets and will take advantage of that. I've heard a lot of the boys, like last night's interview as well, that the Vermilion boys have been really practicing the racing as well. I've got Danny Matisic calling me now. He's usually races in the Formula 3s, and he's probably asking me, how do I get in? Danny, if you're listening to me, you go to the hosted server, and it's under SRW, and go in with SRW wet, and that gets you into the racing.
So you're on board with Jordan Ferguson, up into the top 10 now, Sinker. We saw him qualify just outside the 10. I've just lost the overlays, so we'll quickly reload those up for everyone at home, so then we do not miss any of the content for them, so we can keep everything going as smooth as possible, of course. If it'll do it for me, yes it will. So just on board with Ferguson right now, as I mentioned, up 3 spots. He's just trying to, get back into the groove of things, get back into the groove of remembering this car, knowing what it's like, and just being a consistent driver out there as best he can. So we'll see how he kind of tackles the next portion of this circuit. Of course, we've seen it be a little bit treacherous out there. You got to turn that down, Sinker. I can still hear it. We've just lost it. No, I heard myself for a moment there through the
I don't think it's mine because it only does that when the laptop takes over the audio. But I'm fully in charge with my my beautiful Shure microphone, and I hold my stand in my hand like a real rock star. But these boys are absolutely kicking it. This is spectacular racing. The what lap are we on now? We're on lap.
I'll be able to bring it up in just a moment. I've just fixed it. So once we've
that's all right, mate.
There we go.
This is why
lap
we
13, 2 minutes left.
Yeah, this is why while we're doing this, so we can check out what's going on, where the bugs are going to be, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But the boys are having some mega racing out there. A lot of fun by the look of it. I can't, we don't even have classes or anything like that at the moment, but you can see the boys that are doing really well. It's a mega fighting. I'll tell you what, Hutto's in the back of Jack Anderson as well. He hasn't let go. He hasn't let Greg Johnson pass. He's holding up Grandpa. Guns out. He's got Ryan Price behind him. Hutto's doing really well, mate, for a Formula 3 driver, which is his specialist. He's the open wheeler specialist. He's doing really well.
I think it comes down to how versatile this sort of car is. Like, it's a very simple car to drive. At the end of the day, this is like the stepping stone to really get into other forms of racing when it comes to if you want to move into open wheelers, or you want to move into touring cars, or if you want to move into sports cars. This is kind of where you start. And then, if you wanted to go into supercars, for example, you might move up to a Porsche Cup car and then into a supercar. If you wanted to go into sports cars, you'd move up to GT4 and then into GT3 and then up the prototype ladder, and then obviously open wheelers. You go from this into maybe an F4 or an SF24 or something like that, and then make your way up that way. So this is a really good base form of racing, like a real good pure racing series that offers so much learning for drivers in its most basic form. And that's kind of the mindset I think some drivers need to take. Is just go back to basics. There goes Hutto.
He looks like he's just geared it down a little bit early for that corner. But it's all right. He's still on the back of these boys a little bit. Oh, watch it, Hutto.
That's going to be it.
Watch it get off. It's hard. We might have mozzed him. Tell you what, for someone who hasn't raced these cars, he's done an exceptional job, and he did really well. Really well. I reckon he should go out there and have a bit more of a crack. But
I'll tell you
we'll
what.
probably interfere with his F3 practice.
We've got checkered flag running. It is Dan Bartish out of P1 for race number 1 here tonight. Jake Edwards will then come home in P number 2 for CXR. It'll then be Michael Platt just getting home ahead of Cam Hardwick out of P4 and behind. Then Shane Ratcliffe will cross the line. Sorry, Hardwick in P4, Ratcliffe into P5, not too far behind them. Then it's Matt Fairley. Gets into the chat fairly often during the week, Sinker, so good to see him having a strong run out there here tonight. Tyler Sheaf on return from Japan will, after being probably in the country with these sorts of conditions, you would have thought he would be used to these sorts of conditions, Sinker, and it's paid off for him here tonight, getting into the top 10. Jordan Ferguson on re-debut into SRW, comes home inside the top 10, so that should help his spirits for next season. Same for Jack Anderson. He was up 19 positions in this race into P13 after starting at the back of the field after not being able to set a qualifying time. So that's a strong run from him as well. Dougie Gowans was up 9 spots. A couple other drivers are up some spots as well. Peter Gretton managed to get it home just barely. He's up 4 spots as well. So it was a nice little strong run from them there for race number 1. But it is Dan Bartish out of P1 here tonight.
Yeah, I just heard one of the boys go, "Can we just stop on the side of the road now for now?" Because they all want to get into the next session. So good on them. Let me grab. I'll quit out of this session as well, so we get to the next session while we're talking.
Well, mate, we've still got one more race to go.
Oh, we do too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's two heats. I was starting to think that we were into the F3.
No, we still got 2 races to go, mate. It's 15:15. 20 more minutes of racing gets us to 35 past. That's then when we move over to the SF24s.
So we've got another. So people, our format for tonight is this will have another split. So it's inverted top 10 now, and that will be a hell of a lot of fun. And then what we'll do is we'll interview the 2 winners, and in that process, we'll switch over to the other server and keep you guys there. So don't run away after the 86 is finished, because we'll be setting up the Formula 3s or the Super Lights, which they're going to be called. And the same will go for the IMSA series as well. We will switch over for that. So you got a heavy night of viewing. I would what is it now? If you haven't already got your pizza delivered, ring them up and say, what's going on menu log? Get my pizza here. Crack open a few softies and get ready for a lot of racing tonight.
So this is
and yeah, if anyone wants to send me some pizza or something like that, or some Chinese, 22 NEC Boulevard, Fraser Rise, Victoria.
You've just said you're Sinky. You've just made one of the biggest mistakes in broadcasting history of giving out your address over air. You might have to bleep that. We don't even have time to get into the grid because the drivers are underway already here tonight for race number 2. You're actually going to have to edit that now and bleep it out. I'm not even joking, Sinker, because you're going to set yourself up for pain if you're going to leave that in. But Jordan Ferguson leads the way to Mick Clifton, to Shane Ratcliffe, to Feely. Oh, they've already gone off at turn 1! Oh my God! The pressure's gotten to them already.
Look at the. I can see some clear skies in the background as well. It looks like there's clear skies are coming through. So this track may dry up. They may have to go in for pits and change the slicks.
Yeah,
because the skies are clearing.
Luckily for them, it's a bit easier on the changeover from wets to slicks, where you've got a little bit more leeway when it comes to changing off the wets. You don't want to change the slicks too early, though, because you will start to lose grip absolutely immediately. The other way around, if you go from dry to wet, you have to kind of pick it perfectly, because driving on a wet track with slicks, you've really got no wiggle room, because it means that if you're out and the track's wet and you're on slicks, you're going to have a hell of a time out on track. So coming towards the final corner for the first time at race number 2.
This is one of the things. This is one of the things we're testing. So we've got this second race will fade to normal weather, but we want to see what's going to happen to the track. Is the track going to dry out? Is the track going to leave puddles? If you're on slicks, if you hit the puddle, what happens? So these are all the things that we're testing at the moment, and see how long it takes to dry. This might not get dry until the very end of the race, so we'll see what happens. But I tell you what, either way, it's bloody spectacular.
This here
Shane Newman's just sliding everywhere, isn't he? Look at him go. Oh! He's all over the place there. So everyone's got unlimited fast repairs tonight. So that way they don't have to worry about coming in and out all the time. They can just get back out and race and have some fun.
So this was the start. This was Jordan Ferguson, who was in the lead but went off immediately at turn 1. We'll go on board with him here. So he had a pretty good rundown towards the first corner here tonight. Got off the line well.
Fritz is saying, I wonder if Iracing stuffed them up and put dries on them. You do have to pick wets. So if you don't pick wets at the beginning of the race, you could come out on slicks. So these guys might have just done that.
Oh, that could be very interesting to see if that's what's happened. Although some of them, they don't look to be struggling too bad at the moment.
Some of them are all right. I'd say those other two maybe didn't pick the right tyres. Oh, look at that. Kevin Wakefield up 15 places. What's going on there? Greg Barber, 16 places. Barbs is out there too. I saw him on the list in the first race, but I didn't realise he was out there. Kyle Zink, 13. Martin Walker, 13. And Chris Tomlin, 12. So those boys at the back are moving their way forwards very quickly.
Hey, Sinker.
Bill?
It stopped raining.
Yeah.
We're going to start to get a dry track.
Yeah,
so we can see the clouds. They've all changed. Turn 1's going to get dry first. Ratcliffe.
The grip's still not there. So it stopped raining, but the track is still wet. So this is what we wanted to see, what was going to happen, and see what happens to the boys. If they get gung-ho, will they start aiming for being that they're on wets, will they have to keep on the wets like you do in real life to keep the tyres cool, or will the tyres overheat? So this is all pretty interesting to see how quick it's going to dry up. All part of the experience.
I think what we're going to have to find out is, Sinker, as you can see the clear skies there, then there's all the dark clouds as you look out further to the west, is, trying to figure out, when is the crossover point to change over. We can see Hutto in the background. He's going slow through one of the corners.
Oh, look at that. He's trying to take the inside line there. He's kept it. He held the car. That was pretty good.
He did well. He did well to get it done. As we come
That's
on up.
Jake Edwards up the front with
Shane Ratcliffe.
Look at the rear end of that. He's drifting
Oh,
now.
there he goes, out of the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, and he'll be absolutely painful with himself for sure.
One mistake. That's all it takes is one mistake. And I tell you what, it's not a hard thing to do, spin on these things.
Jack Anderson's also been off track. I was going to mention him before. He was into the top 10. A couple of drivers up a heap of positions already in this race. We'll check him out here. Johnston up 10, Tomlin up 15, Walker up 19, Zink up 16, Wakefield up 19 as well. Actually, no, Walker up 18. I do apologise. And then Barber up 19 positions as well. There's been a moment for Dan Bartish in the background. He's tried to enter the pits and he hasn't been able to get it done.
He's missed it by the look of it.
Oh, his steering's broken. His steering's broken already. So he was trying to nurse it in. He couldn't get it turned. Oh, look at that. Yeah, he couldn't get it turned in. And then bang. Yeah. Oh, no. Unfortunate for Mr. Bartish.
He hit it on the way in. He's on the way in. He's broken his steering on the way in.
Yeah, his steering was already broken before he actually got there.
Okay.
So now he's in the lane. We'll see. I think this might be the moment here, quite possibly, that it happened. Is the steering already broken at this point? Oh, that's where it broke there. That's where it broke, right there.
The wheel's facing the wrong way and everything. Yeah.
That's what that was. That's how that occurred for him. But it's Edwards P1 at the moment, then into Feely in P2. Sheafy in behind. When will they come in for slicks? I think it's
Kevin Wakefield up in 7th place, mate. He's hunting down. Oh, he's having a battle with Jack Anderson by the look of it because they swapped places twice then.
Yeah, they're going back and forth at the moment. On board with Anderson. Velocity Racing team entry. Just trying to chase down Kevin Wakefield in these treacherous conditions. Bit too early to go into the dries just yet. I'm thinking by the look of the track. Sink. Oh, he clipped the curb. Very lucky to catch that then. Great car control from him.
Very lucky. So it looks like it's maybe even harder as the track's drying out because there's areas where the track is got grip and then all of a sudden you hit a wet patch and you lose a bit of traction. So it sounds like it brings in a whole new level.
It didn't help that he hit the curb. Pretty much the name of the game for wet, ladies and gentlemen, is you want to avoid the curbs, avoid painted lines because those are the slickest parts of the circuit. Say what you will about Jack and any of his races, but his car control is absolutely impeccable. He can save something from the brink of disaster if he wants, if he needs to. But right now he's in an intense battle here with Wakefield. As I was saying, a bit too early to get into the dries just yet. I think the track's going to dry out enough by about possibly 10 minutes. The latest it would be 12 minutes into the session we could start seeing them coming in for dries.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long a dry will last in the a wet will last in the dry.
They've said it only lasts a couple of laps when the track is fully dry, because they'll overheat too much.
There's still water spraying, so the track is still wet.
Yeah.
At some point,
you can see the dry patches already starting to come in. Those lighter parts of the tarmac, that's where it's dry. So
these two boys, 2x2, very smart. Bit of good driving there by Mr. Wakefield. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, he's doing well just to stick here with Anderson up ahead of him here. Tomlin's starting to get chased down as well. So I'll have to wonder if Chop and Jackals will be in a chat together, having a bit of a laugh in these changing conditions. They have raced together previously.
Spray is getting smaller, as you can see it. The spray is getting smaller, so the track is drying out. If there's someone people want to see out there, let us know. We'll pop on and we'll show you who they are. There's a few battles going everywhere. Jordan Ferguson's actually on the back of Jake Craven at the moment in 16th, 17th. He is like, he was. Something must have happened. He was like 0.02 on him at one point. So these boys are finding it out all over the place. But the battles that we're seeing at the moment are probably the biggest ones are the ones we've been watching.
Big spin there from Zink.
Yeah, yep.
Has he come in?
Tyler Sheep's having a good crack at Matty Feely.
Yeah, he is at the moment. Let's check that out. And actually, this should give us... Is there... There is. Let's see if this shows us what they're on. No, they haven't updated it yet. I wanted to see if they had the tyre compound thing updated for SDK.
There is. On my end, there is. Hang on.
Yeah, it's not showing on the actual timing tower. So that's tyre compound. And it's not showing anything. So it's not even showing wets or dries. So I reckon that'll be coming into SDK fairly shortly, I would say. That is normally held for the Open Wheelers series, which have like softs and hards.
Jono's gone round. He's held a little bit too much pace coming through that corner.
And I think, Sinker, as I was saying, we're up to about the 10-minute mark now. It is looking more and more like dry conditions in a couple of moments. I think they will be able to rest. I think maybe I said it was going to be 10 to 12 minutes would be kind of when you want to come in for dries. I think it's looking more like 12 to 15 minutes possibly, but we could see them start to come in within the next couple of minutes.
I've got the racing line turned on my PC, and the racing line is still very wet.
Yeah.
Like that corner there, the racing line is all wet.
Yeah.
Drying here, dry here.
But you can see how dry it is down the straight. Like it is so much drier down the straight.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That what they need to do is now they need to start driving on the racing line just to pick the water up off the racing line to start drying it out. Because once they start drying out the dry line, then they'll be able to come out on dries and start cutting some laps. But there may not be enough time for it.
Well, the interesting thing will be to ask these boys later on is, are the wets starting to get slippery in the dry? Because if they are, then what you need to do is actually drive and try to aim for the wet puddles. Like in real world, keep them wet, keep them cool. So there's two different lines going on here. There's a wet weather line going and a dry line going there. So Matty Feely is... which one's the front? Is it Matty Feely has just passed him? So Tyler Sheaf is on the outside at the moment.
Sheafy's just trying to get past him here. Feely is just defending the position. We can see where the wet lines... Excuse me.
Feely's on the actual dry line. He's on the actual dry line, whereas Sheafy is trying to use the wet line a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Sheafy is trying to not overheat those tyres, but he's also actually trying to pick the water up on the wet line because he doesn't. Yeah. And you can see there he's got a bit more. He had a bit more grip on the inside there, where there was a bit more water.
Yeah, he did. And Feely was out in the dry area there on the dry line. Let's see how they're going to go down here. Is Feely still got the front on him? Feely does have the overlap, so he's going to have. Oh no!
Oh, Feely's lost it.
Gear down. Yeah, he is just that gear shift down has just destroyed him. But you know what? He's only lost one place. That was really well recovered. Some great camera work there, mate, as if he planned it. Did he tell you?
That was just pure luck, man. I just wanted to see them go too wide through turn one, to be honest with you. And I thought we'll head up into our Grim Industries blimp and see how they tackle it. But as we come up now up towards the bridge, it's now Sheafy ahead of this little battle pack here. Jake Edwards has run away with this thing at this point in time. Look at that gap that he's got over them. He's coming up towards the final corner of the lap. And they're only just coming up here into this section of circuit. So it's quite a fair old gap here for Mr. Edwards. Jack Anderson calling something into the stewards. I'm not sure what it was. If you could let us know, Sinker.
I'm not sure. I think he started to, but I didn't hear him come through the speaker.
Oh, unless he was saying something to... unless he was saying something to Tomlin as well. Obviously, they are...
He might have been, yeah.
They are buddies, of course. So they'll... They're probably just having a bit of a yarn together in the middle of the session. Why? How could you not blame them? You know, it's...
he's got a bit of grass on it. He's mad.
I tell you what, Sinker, I think it's time to put dries on. I think it is time to put dries on right now.
I think how many laps?
We're 10 laps in, 13 and a half minutes. Don't be surprised if we see some people start to come in and roll the dice. I think the time is now. You got to really, just risk the dries now. The line looks dry enough. You can see there's a dry line already starting to come about. Now's the time just to put those on. Stick to that dry line. It'll dry out over the next couple of laps. There are still some wet patches where you'll have to be careful. Yeah,
that corner just before that was all wet still.
Yeah.
That was all wet still. I don't know who it was that spun. Someone's just taking looks like Hutto's taking a shortcut through the, yep, he's in the fence there.
Yeah, he's gone through the Formula V layout.
Couple of spots down the bottom here on the hill here that are still wet. They're retaining some water.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. This dip here.
And this is like one of the reasons why I don't think we should actually have rain next. This is one of the reasons why I don't think we should actually have rain next Friday out at Nürburgring, because it's such a long track. If we're getting sections of Oran Park, which is only like 10% of the length of the Nordschleife, that half of it's wet, half it's dry. Imagine what the Nordschleife's going to be like. Like, it's going to be almost impossible to determine because you're going to be doing half a lap on dry, half a lap on wet. It's going to be almost impossible to call. So it's like...
Yeah, well, it's also that big. It's nearly in 2 different countries.
Well, that's right. You know, like it's a 23-kilometer circuit. You know, it's going to be almost impossible. So I think if we're going to run rain there, the whole race is going to be wet. Like you can't really run the changeable conditions there. You know, maybe for 8.6s next week, possibly. We'll have to wait and see how they go. They seem to have done pretty well tonight. They've started to really settle themselves in. It is going to take a lot of practice, though, just to get used to these conditions, and I think it may have caught a couple of people out tonight how difficult it actually is.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you haven't practiced at all, it's going to be hell for leather out there. It's going to be tough. Big time. So we've got a fair few people still out there watching us. Please like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the rain experience and the way it's drying out. Any questions you've got, we'll try to answer them for you if you're a new viewer. But don't forget, after this, we're going into the Super Lights, the new Formula 3 for Season 2.
Yep, SF24 action to come up for us in the next session, ladies and gentlemen. 4 minutes left of this one. And I mean, like, Sinker, if you're... Fritzy's saying, Phillip Island forecast is sunny and cold next week in real life. Well, we'll have to see what it's going to be like then. If there'll be rain or if it'll run real life. There was someone in the background there just off track. You see, Edwards has just struggled to keep it on track as well. And this is what I'm saying.
I see 2 cars going dirt.
I think now it is crunch time for those
just
tyre
done the fastest
changes.
lap of a 1:22.908.
Yeah, he did that. Not this past lap, but the lap before.
Right,
and with the track drying up, that would be pretty reasonable why that would happen. He is struggling on those wets now. I think it's crazy looking Fritzy. I think now's the time for dries. Look at that. Yep, he's definitely he's definitely got to come in for dries. He's got to do it because he's not going to be able to survive another 3 minutes on these wets.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. There's still Iracing has still got water going in the back of him. Is it because it's a tyre and it's something they haven't thought about just yet, but it is drying out. But I'll show you this spot just here he's coming up to is still very wet.
There is a car in the pits. It's Ryan Price. I'm not sure if he's changed tyres or not onto the dries as he comes through. See, no, it's not even that bad there, though. Like, there is a dry line there.
Yeah. Coming up, this is very wet. Just on that line,
all you got to do, Cinco. You can see the dry line. It's a little bit wider on the go-kart part. So, but this section here is still a bit wet.
This bit here is very wet. This bit right here where he's coming. That's the only spot that's retaining water at the moment. That's really, really wet. The question is, will a slick go through that?
I think it possibly could. Yeah, that was.
Is that your mate, Jack?
No, that wasn't Jack. I'm not sure who that was, actually. It was one of the Celica-looking cars.
Oh, Greg Barber.
No, he's up on the straight.
He's doing well. He's another one. He's up 20. He's up 20 places.
Oh no, Barb's is in a Celica livery.
Yeah. I thought it was Barb's. Yeah,
I thought Barb's was in
Barb's and Kevin are there, and Tomlin's right in the back of Ratcliffe at the moment. Oh no, Tomlin's in the front of Ratcliffe at the moment.
Ratcliffe's just had a bit of a moment there.
Yes, he has.
How's he done that? Let's have a quick look here. Oh, he's cut across the nose of Tomlin. That's what that was there.
Yep.
So, now it is crunch time. 1:15 left. 1 lap to go of proceedings. Jake Edwards starts the final lap of the race for the 8.6s here tonight. I don't think we've had anyone come in and change over to dries just yet.
Oh,
big slide there.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Anderson's also gone off at the final corner as well. He's just dropped the tyres off.
I just heard someone say it's definitely not dry.
Hutto saying it's too early for dry tyres. Yeah. Oh, well, that's fair enough.
See, we can see. I think what we're seeing is it looks dry, but there's still water spraying off the tyres.
Yeah.
So it's might be just a perception of image of what Iracing is giving to us.
Hutto actually tried it for us.
Oh,
he tried dry and he said it's too early.
I didn't test it. Yeah. Here we go.
Michael
Couple
Platt
minutes.
also
We got the white flag.
Dry line is massively deceptive. Also shows lots of spray. Really difficult to know what's true. That is true. And again, we're only going off what we see and what we think could be the plan. I think maybe if it was 5 minutes longer, we could have seen a proper dry line start to form. But it's going to be Jake Edwards, P1 for race number 2 here tonight. There's an absolutely mega effort from him here to get it into the top step for race number 2. It'll then be Tyler Sheaf in behind him for P2 here tonight. He said it was going to be a struggle in race 2, but he's done well to get it up into P2 on the road. Michael Platt saying been on dries for 6 laps. I think that may have been a little bit too early for dries, but I don't know. If you're listening to us whilst you're driving, maybe don't go exactly what we say. We're only surmising, of course, as well. Feely into P3. Then it's Martin Walker out of P4 ahead of Chris Tomlin in P5. Jack Anderson will then come home in P6 in behind a further 7 positions up where he started this race. Walker was up 20 positions. Tomlin was up 15. Wakefield was up 19 positions in this race here tonight. So then Greggy Johnston out of P9 to Mick Clifton in P10.
Yeah, good job.
And then back to Greggy Barber in P11. Shane Newens is the last driver to come across the line for us. You can see how many drivers are out of proceedings. Zink, Platt, Hudson, Bartosh, Craven, Cochran, Gretton, Caldwell, all out of proceedings here for race number 2. So not many of them survived the wet. Jack saying he got murdered on the second to last corner. So we'll see what happened to him.
We'll get the CSI to come and greet you, mate.
Yeah, we'll put the magnifying glass up to it. Let's have a look here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Yeah,
the boys are having a bit of fun there.
Yeah, that was the incident that had happened. So we'll show the start of it here. So they were coming up here, up to the second to last corner, and up around towards the final corner. Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Oh, did you see that? That thing just flew back into the track.
It did.
What the hell was that, Iracing?
I know.
Holy crap.
Not much you can do about that one, though, to be fair. It was just one of those things.
Oh, my God. Well, let's grab who was the winner of that round.
Well, we'll check out our Heat 1 results, then we'll quickly show our Heat 2 results as well. It's not even going to show me the Heat 1 results. Of course it's not, because I had to reset my... oh, no, it's not even... Why is it not? Oh, that's why, because we haven't got it on overall. So there's our Heat 1 results. It was Dan Bartosh. It's Jake Edwards. So Jake Edwards actually won the round, even though there's nothing really on offer for us here tonight. Edwards actually won the whole round, as he got P2 in race number 1. And then we go down to our feature race. This was the top of the tower, and it was Edwards P1 to Sheaf to Feely to Walker to Tomlin. Anderson, Ratcliffe, Wakefield, Johnston, Clifton made up the top 10. So Edwards was the winner of our mini round here tonight.
Edwards, if you're out and about, mate, get into the green room so we can pop you in for a bit of a chin wag and talk about how that felt out there for you, mate.
Oh, we didn't want that one up there. Right, we got this up now. So now is our time to just kind of swap over sessions, ladies and gentlemen, while we move over to our SF24 session. We'll wait for our drivers to come and have a chat to us, if they're going to come and have a chat to us, of course. If not, then we'll just have a little bit of a chat. Phillip Island. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to let me load in. So that's all right, mate. Oh, I've just realized as well. I actually can't hear you in this screen. So let me just add my Discord so then I can actually hear you and hear whoever you're talking to as well. So apologies on that one, but we'll get our audio output going. At existing Discord. There we go. Now everyone can hear you at home.
Excellent. So what, they couldn't hear me before? Oh no. Anyway, people's out there. We are now loading in for the Super Formula Light session, which starts at 8:35. They are all already on track. We are just about to get out there and see the latter parts of the qualifying and have a bit of chinwag with some of the boys. Some of the boys are actually in the lounge as well. They are going to race all three, so good on those guys. And I'm really itching to get one of the boys to have a bit of a chat and see what they thought of the drying track and see how decisive it was and how just to see what it was in general. See how the boys felt and what they thought of it all. What?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I stopped singing from talking for a second there. We've had a couple of chats from Michael Platt. Jack was saying, yeah, apologies, Jack. That was the, in quotes, dry braking line. And Jack said, all good, mate. It happens. That corner looked dry to me, but didn't feel that way. So, yeah, the track, very deceptive out there, Sincar, to some of the drivers, just trying to sort themselves out and figure out what the go is going to be going forward here tonight.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm just looking to see why I can't get into the session. I just realised
close and reopen your Iracing.
Yeah, Iracing. Yeah, and it won't let me withdraw from the old one. That's probably why. Okay, let's grab someone in here that's raced this stuff before. Let's hope Hutto wasn't. Let's grab him and get his perception on things, because it was his first time, and then we'll grab Greg Johnson because he's a regular driver and see what both perceptions are. Mr. Brad Hudson, how you going, mate? You there, Brad?
Yeah, mate.
We've stolen you, mate, and put you into the green room. What did you think of that, mate? What was it like? What was your perception of it all?
Yeah, it was slippery. Definitely interesting racing in the wet for the first time. Yeah, challenging. You really have to kind of pick your lines. And then when it turned into a dry track or started to dry, it was a bit of rolling the dice of whether your tyres were going to hold up or... Sorry, I'm trying to drive at the same time. Here we go. So, yeah, it was tough going.
Cool. So, do it again?
Absolutely. If anyone's out there watching tonight, just, yeah, get into it. It is so much fun. Like, even though it was... a lot of concentration, difficult to drive in. It was a lot of fun. That was the main part.
Good. That's what we want to hear in SRW. That's what we're about, having fun out there. There's a lot of people watching and a lot of people saying, how can we get in? I think there'll be a few people that'll be joining. I'm not sure how many are in the F3 session as we speak, because I'm loading in myself right now. Is the track dry?
The track is dry, so I think we're expecting rain about midway through the race. So I guess we'll get to see the transition from dry to wet, and then as we make our way out of the wet, back towards the dry. So let's see if it behaves similarly, just like the GR86.
It'll be very interesting to see what the downforce does to it, and also what will happen with the way it reacts to the downforce on the wets, on the dry part of the track as well. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see what goes on. Can't wait. Look, mate, I'll let you get in there. I know you want to focus and get yourself sorted. We'll grab John Owen to get a perspective from a regular 86 driver and see what he thinks. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Good luck out there.
Right, cheers, mate.
Cheers. Okay, let's grab Mr. Johnson. Just get a perspective of a regular 86 driver and see what they thought. Mr. Johnson, how you going, mate? Are you there, Greg? Greg. Oh, don't tell me he's gone for a break or something. You there, Greg? No. Okay. Well, let's grab someone else out of that room And we'll grab Mr. Ryan Price and just see what he thought of the whole thing, because Mr. Johnson's not there. It was his moment of fame. We'll put him back in there and get Pricey back in here. Mr. Price, are you there?
Me, I am, yes.
Well, you're in the room, mate, with me on the broadcast. Let me know. How was that, mate?
Good evening, Stephen. The 86s was super fun. It was like it's sort of the track, because it changes throughout, obviously, the heavy and the light rain, and then as it dries out, you start to get a bit more confident, and you do notice where it is still wet, if that makes sense. So you kind of, yeah, it has a lot of stuff getting thrown at you, so you can't just relax and get into a bit of a rhythm, because yeah, it's constantly changing.
What was the dry down process like? The track looked a lot drier on stream than I guess it was, because there was still spray coming off the back of the car. But was it dry, or did it look dry to you as a driver, or did it look like it was still wet?
The actual graphics of the wetness and how the track dries out is actually super cool. It starts to become like the actual detail of the puddles look, you know, like they look awesome. So when it's fully wet, it's not hard to see the puddles, but because there's so much water, you don't really get to see the detail that they've gone to create the wetness. But as the track dries out, I feel it, the visuals get better. So you can sort of notice where the bumps, where the puddles and stuff are a bit sort of cleaner, I guess.
So down the bottom corner, as you're coming up to the bridge, that looked like it was fairly wet when the rest of the track was drying up. Was that a lot wetter? Because it looked like it was a lot wetter on the broadcast. Was that a lot wetter than other areas?
I think that there's certainly some areas that hold water and don't seem to disappear. There's a few corners on the inside as you come into it. If you tip your wheels into the puddle, it doesn't like it. So
you
them
can
areas
feel the puddles. Even though the track's drying out, if you go through a puddle, you can feel the puddle. You can feel it pull just like you would in a normal car, pull to the right a bit, or a little bit left. So cool. The reason I'm asking you all this is so the viewers out there that are watching can get a perception of what's going on and how you felt out there. So it's excuse me, it's very realistic to what we feel in our own cars on the road, huh?
It absolutely feels almost identical to what it'd be on a racetrack, I'd imagine. So yeah, you sort of, where you see the water, and if you sort of get a little bit cocky, excuse the French, but if you do throw your tyres into it, you know, when you're carrying a bit of speed, obviously you pay the price. So no, they've done a good job. It was super fun. Obviously, still trying to learn
Are you
how
going
to
to have
drive.
a go at the Formula, the Super Lights?
I am downloading the Super Light as we speak. I had to purchase the car, so
okay. I'll let you go. Go focus on that. You've got a bit of time to get in there. You've got 10 minutes before the quality goes. My advice in the Super Light is try to avoid carnage and just work your way into the pace. Don't try to hit it hard first time round. This thing's got a lot of grip, and the downforce will do a lot of work for you. So don't try to overdrive it.
No worries. Thank you, champion. Coach.
All right, mate.
Just quickly,
Take care.
mate, just quickly as well. The faster you go on this thing, the more grip you'll actually get as well. So you want to try and push it to its grip limit, find where that grip limit is, and then try and keep it there. That's how you're going to better find the pace in the open wheeler.
Like pedal to the metal, you reckon?
Yeah, mate, 100%.
Go for it, mate. Have some fun.
Have some fun. Cheers, boys. Thanks.
I'll put you back in the room, mate. You can focus and concentrate.
Cheers, legend. See ya.
All right, Mr. Jake Edwards, I can see you in chat, but I can't see you in our Discord channels. Come in a Discord channel, mate, so I can have a bit of a chin wag to you, mate. You are the round winner for that, even though it's not a points round, but I want to get your perception from it. You're an experienced racer in all the different cars that we race here, so it'd be great to get your perspective as well.
I reckon the winner of tonight's proceedings, we should give them a bottle of water as a trophy. What do you reckon? We'll get a Voss bottle. We'll get it specially engraved, and everyone and the winners can get a bottle of water. Or if we get SRW umbrellas, we'll give them an umbrella. How about that?
That'll definitely be something that we need to do.
Oh yeah.
While we're doing a bit of chitter chatter,
can you do a post out on Facebook at the same time and just put a clip of just take a screenshot of something of what we're doing, or I don't know, anything, and just tell people to come in and watch.
The stream's up on Facebook, Sinker. So if you guys are watching out on the Facebook land, be sure to share it around. Get everyone in here checking it out. Of course, current proceedings in qualifying for the SF24 session. Gerard P1 at the moment. Then we head back to Dodsey P2, Gowan's P3, Hardwick P4, and then Matisic is making up the top 5 at this stage. 11 cars have set a lap time, Sinker. We got about 20 out there, though, at the moment who have signed up.
Yeah, that's good to see. Good to see. I think there'll be about 20. There's Phil Vella said he was going to come out and have a bit of a spin as well. So get out there, boys, and have some fun. We really want to see. So we've taken 2 different perspectives. The 86 is what we've done was giving you a full wet race. And then we've given you a race where it dries up as it starts in the wet. Now what you're going to see is a bit more real. I'm not saying the other one's not real world. It's very easily happen real world that way as well. But this one's going to change. I'm not sure if at what point, but at some point it's going to start raining. And at some point it's going to stop raining. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I don't know how the IMSA one was set up. Stefan set that up, so we'll see what he set up for the boys. But that's going to be interesting again. Didn't get to, sorry mate, just flew in from Canada today, so spent some time with the family. Nah, it's all good, Phil. Welcome back, mate. I hope your Canada trip was really good, mate. It'd be good to see you back on track as soon as you're back.
Phil, I hope you brought me some poutine. I hope Phil brought me home some poutine. I'm going to be very upset if he has not brought me some poutine.
Stefan McCartane, okay, weather report for the IMSA series tonight.
Dry to fog,
Dry to fog to rain.
Oh.
So he's been clever and he's given us some more. So tonight we're testing everything out and going full hell for leather. And apart from the beginning when you were sharing your stream with me, Hamish, was the only real time that we had any challenges, really.
You know what?
The rest of the time was really good.
Yeah, you know what I've just noticed, Sinker?
What,
Sheafy's doing dry practice on wet tyres.
He's doing dry practice on wet
I can see the grooves in the tyres. He's out there on wet in the dry session.
Is he trying to get out there and start the race on dries and hope for the rain comes in early enough?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's going to start to rain in qualifying, but maybe a little bit of a blunder there from Mr. Sheaf. One thing as well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously...
we won't tell him, okay?
No, we won't tell him.
Secret.
We won't drag him in right now and just tell him that he's out there on wets.
We'll wait till the race starts.
Hey, Sheafy.
Yeah?
You know you're on wets, mate?
I only just found out once you said I was on wet.
I look at your car and I'm like, there's grooves on those tyres.
Yeah, I thought they were a pretty special looking tyre, but just didn't really realise.
You look like you're running like an early 2000s F1 car right now, how they used to have the groove tyres for dries. So, but obviously 86s, mate, you returned home today from Japan, back into the 86s.
I bet you are.
So, arigato for coming back into the series straight away. How was it getting back into the sim, obviously after being away for a while, but really getting in the deep end, in the wet, in the 86s out at Home Park?
It was good fun. I think it was good not to be on the sim for a month. Come back nice and fresh and relaxed, even though I had no sleep on the plane on the way back home overnight. But it was good fun. It was very challenging.
That almost seems like the way, isn't it, when you're traveling overseas and you come back to Australia, for some reason it's so hard to get sleep on the return trip compared to when you're actually going, isn't it? I don't know what it is about that.
Sleep anywhere, doesn't matter.
Oh, like even when I came home from Europe, it was about 10 years ago now. Flying there, it was pretty easy to get a nice little 3-hour nap in every now and again across the obviously day that you're flying. Way back, it was so hard to go to sleep on the way back, and I don't know what it was that made it so hard for that to happen, but yeah, it's I don't know. I find it quite interesting how that can work out.
Yeah, no, on the way up it was a day trip, so it made it a hell of a lot easier. When you get up in the morning, get there late at night, makes it easier. But on the way back overnight, I think that kills me the most. I never had any good luck. Like I flew back from New York once, and I was up for like 3 days straight because of it. So it was a good trip though, and yeah, looking forward to what Phillip Island can bring.
So just quickly, Sheafy, what was your favourite part of your trip? you know, and just I want to ask this as well. You may not have done this, but did you actually go and see the real life Mount Akina possibly?
No, I got to see Mount Fuji. I think that was pretty awesome.
Yep.
Cherry blossoms. No, it was the Tokyo Tower in the background was pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of rain. But no, it's still a good overall fun trip, and hopefully get back, well, go back there as soon as possible and enjoy it a bit more. And hopefully this time I can go to a racetrack.
Wow, I mean, you got plenty on offer there. Obviously, you got Motegi, Okayama, you've got Suzuka, Fuji. There's so much on offer for racing fans. Not even just that, the drift circuits like Scuba and Ebisu as well. So there's so much on offer if you're a motorsport fan in Japan. And I mean, I'd love to go to Japan and check out all of the race circuits if I had enough time to. But now you're back. Obviously, you'll be back in the booth Thursday nights. And are you going to get back into the F3s before the end of the season as well? Or are you going to focus your time into practicing in the SF24 for next season?
Unfortunately, uni is going to take up my time. I've got online class on the Wednesday night. So if it's a public holiday... Did you work on Thursday
night, mate?
Yeah, I'm working Thursday night. Yeah, I still kept that clear. But yeah, unfortunately, the Wednesday night is a no-no now. So I'll just do the Formula Vs, have a bit of fun on that, and yeah, the commentating for the 86s.
Excellent, mate. Look, we're gonna pub you off. Go out there, get your dries on, and have a bit of fun. And we'll speak to you at the end of the night, mate. Take care.
Thanks for that.
See you, Steve.
Thanks, mate.
Yep.
Oh, well.
We have also got a last-minute entry. Jack Anderson's done it again. He's come in at the last minute to come have a crack in the wet. So he's,
and why the hell not? It's there.
Yeah,
it's there for everyone to have a go.
That's right.
If you race in iRacing and you're out watching, just come in there and have a bit of a spin. There's still how many minutes left?
Well, qualifying is about to end, so whoever's on a lap will whoever's on a lap will finish their lap. On board with Matty Gerard, P2 in the session, but that's going to be session over for a big spin out at Lukey Heights coming down towards MG, and what a wild ride it was. Just on our presentation here for tonight as well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, if you have noticed on the F3 broadcast, there are quite a fair few custom cameras on that car. Haven't had enough time, to be honest, I forgot to set up the same cameras on the SF24, but they will be on there for next season as well. So the presentation will get back to normal running, but tonight we're just going to stick it to roll bar cam and then our TV cams as well, as the other cams are they're not up to my standard, and I don't want to put them on screen. I'm going to be honest. iRacing, get better cameras on the cars, please.
Mickey Clifton, who's gone, had fun in the 86s, got to start up front and binned at turn one. Yeah, well, yeah, we did see that, mate. That's unfortunate for you. And it looked like you were on slicks. That's what it looked like from our sides. Be back for the next race. I'm assuming he means for the IMSA. And Facebook, Alex Matria, Sebastian Fegan.
Yeah, he's tagged. I think he might have tagged someone in the Facebook broadcast. So
I was so excited to race 2 poles until about turn 2.
Yeah, he went off in race 2. Now, Jordan, did you have dries on the car at the start of the race, or were you on wet tires? We need the confirmation, please. I do know that Jordan is most likely having a crack at IMSA later tonight, as is Mick Clifton in the IMSA session as well.
Mate,
so we see a couple more guys.
Few boys that don't usually race the Formula 3s doing really well out there.
Yeah, they
are. Happy Dodds is did a pearler. He finished on top for that stint. Next is Matty Gerard, Doug Gowan, Daniel Byrne, Callum Rosender, Cam Hardwick, Danny Masic, Sam Kutakazinos, Brad Hudson, Andrew Lyder, Michael Platt, Matt Walker, Tyler Sheaf, Stefan McCartan is our RC. Jack Anderson, Greg Johnson did not set times. I'm not sure if Kevin's going to be in there, but most likely will.
I hope Shibby is, because he signed up for the session.
And Matt Terziario. So Nathan is there, but I'm not sure. I can't see him on the grid.
Well, I hope he is going to race, because he's got to call one of my races before, so it's only fair I get to call one of his. Of course, Dodsey in the McLaren livery on his SF24.
Listen to the cars revving. They sound so cool.
Yeah, they're so good, aren't they?
Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! It's starting to rain. It's starting to rain. These boys are all out on slicks. It started to rain. Have a look at the water on top of the cars.
I just saw the halos getting wet.
Let's have a look here.
Have a look at that. The halo's getting
I
wet.
can't see anything, Cinco. I don't know what it is.
So I'm watching it through Iracing, and I can see droplets of water on their halos and on their dashes.
I can't see anything through the helmet of Harry Dodds. Of course, the cockpit cam will get used at some points here tonight. Chop saying SRW need a micro sprint race. Well, unfortunately, Chop, they don't have rain, so it doesn't really fit the bill for tonight's running. And we don't currently offer any dirt races,
okay.
so yeah.
I don't think I've been in a micro sprint, to be honest.
Well, it's brand new. It came out this week. We're greening up now, so lights are going to go up. We're going to go racing here tonight. One race to rule them all for the SF24s. It's going to be green flag running as we come down towards turn 1 and see who can get the best run here into this race. It'll be changeable conditions. When will it rain? You can see how dark the clouds are.
Too wide. Oh, good space given these cars. I haven't raced it yet. I bought it during the week just to do the livery, and I haven't raced it yet, but they look like they'll be a lot of fun to do. Look at the boys holding the grip on the outside. It's holding grip on the outside of that track, which is really slippery usually.
And I tell you what, Sinker, it is so nice to see a modern F3 out on track on an SRW broadcast. Oh, this big contact that's happened out at Honda.
3, 4, 5, 6 cars in that one. 6 cars in that one. Looks like someone has... Yep, someone's called it in. Oh, he nearly beached it. Oh, and someone's just lost him, driven into each other.
Wrestle with each other at the moment.
Oh, man, he's trying to pull away. I'm not sure what they're doing. Was that Brad Hutto? I think
Andrew Lydon's been involved. Oh, he just full sent it, and then he's gone off track. That was Sheafy who lost in the background.
2 experienced drivers then. That was Lydon and Hutto. Here we go.
Yeah, he lost it himself.
He's just locked it up. Yeah. He just locked it up on his own. But these 2, he's tried to avoid it, and he's impacted the other 2 guys. I think there was a bit of code brown. So
back up to the lead as we come down towards turn number 1 and then into the southern loop for turn 2. It's a one-on-one with Doddsy and Gowans. Up through the southern loop we come for the second time here tonight. Nice little battle in the background here with Gerard and Byrne as well. Obviously, Daniel Byrne well adversed in the F3. He's our current leading F1 champion for the Shadow Series of last year. Multiple-time series champion as well. And he is leading the F1 Shadow Series at the moment for 2024.
He's getting a fight there. He's not giving it away too easy.
No, he's not. We have got Shibby in the chat saying these cars are a bunch of fun. Well, why aren't you racing, Shibby? Why aren't you racing? Phil Vella saying SF23. I think SF24 is the 2024 Ferrari F1 car. Well, the SF23 is the Super Formula, regular Super Formula, and then I was told that the SF24 is the Super Formula Light, but we'll have to see what the exact name of these cars are, what the model name is. Kids and Family took over. Unfortunate, Shibby. Well, hopefully he can get back out there, maybe for IMSA later on.
We forgive. The battles are everywhere at the moment. We've got Callum Rosen on the back of Cameron Hardwick of a 0.08. It looks like he's passing him. He has just passed him.
They are still battling it out in the background.
Looking really cool.
Yeah, they are. They look really cool. And as I said, it's what we've been waiting for. Modern. Oh, that's big contact though to turn 1.
Oh,
that was massive.
He was holding his line on the outside, but looks like the car that was on the inside tried to go wide or lost it and went wide. Don't know where that one's going to go. Let's leave that up to race control. Thomas Freeman is looking after the boys at the moment. Oh, bit of jumping over tyres as well there. These boys are getting a bit too close to each other and forgetting that they're driving Formula 3 cars.
Yeah, they're riding. Oh, that's contact between Dodds and Gowans up the front as well.
Yeah. Well, and then there was someone that came in underneath Dodds as well. So there was a bit of damage both left, right, and centre. One of them is driving around with no front wing at all.
And we are now with Daniel Byrne, who's taken himself all the way to the front of the grid. Dougie Gowans has set the fastest lap of that last lap for 1:23.150. Excellent work. Danny Matisic, been down the rig for a while, a regular in our F3 series, who I haven't seen in our current series at the moment, is in second place with a 1:23.774. So not a bad time for Danny at all. Looks like he must have been sneaking in some practice as he went. Doug Gowans, then Greg Johnson, Jacko, Andrew Lydon, Kevin Wakefield did make the grid. He's up 10 places. And then the boys are falling backwards from Gerard, Rosendar, Hardwick, Dodds, Sheaf, Walker, Hudson, Peter Gazinos, Platt, and Tesario didn't make the grid by the look of it.
No, so Nesses Guerrero, no Shibby, no Keegan Caldwell. And Platt is out there, but he is down the order. Connor Nixon into the chat. Great to have you in the booth last night, Connor. Really appreciated your time joining me talking about IMSA. We got big IMSA action coming up here tonight, obviously in the wet. We're waiting for these changeable conditions here across this 40-minute race in the SF24s here, and a bit of a preview for next season. Jack Anderson.
Sheaf just got himself a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that would be possibly for the lap 1 incident. Maybe they think that was his fault because he lost control of the car, but Jack Anderson in that brand new Velocity Racing Team livery up there, debuting here tonight.
Matty Gerard is all over the back of Kevin Wakefield, and he's got Rosendar on the back of himself as well.
There we can see them both battling out. There's Rosendar. But this is a little battle on hand.
Ooh,
up the
nice
inside goes Gerard.
Is he going to be able to take the pace down there? He has. He's done real well. So he's taken it out wide in the first part of the apex and brought it back in underneath Kevin. Kevin's got the drag behind him now and see if he can try to take it back at the next corner. No, he's already peeling away from him.
And I tell you what, Sinkar, I don't know if you can tell as a driver looking at this, but I can tell there is a slight pace discrepancy between these cars and our current F3s. These things seem just that little bit faster around the track.
They do look zippier.
Yeah.
And they do. And I think what you're seeing is they may not be more powerful, but what you're seeing is they're holding more pace.
Yeah.
Through the medium to slow corners.
Yeah, I think that they've just got a bit more grip about them, a little bit more downforce as well, possibly. I think it also helps that they have got the, I believe they have the benefit of DRS on portions of the track too. What I'll do is I'll be cutting some laps tomorrow, not tomorrow, but prior to season 2, just so I can learn every little bit about this car. So we got everything, everything to know about this car.
Corners,
yeah. Connor's saying it has got DRS, so.
There's definitely rain already out there at some level. Maybe it's just a spit. I'm not sure because when you had the cockpit view, I could see, from my perspective, I could see the raindrops.
I don't think it'll be too long until we see it. Yeah, there is DRS.
Yeah,
okay,
look at
cool.
those clouds coming in.
So yeah, we can see
when those clouds
once
come in, it'll be a dive.
outside.
It'll be a dive into the wets.
Oh yep, I can confirm as well. I've just seen there is DRS because I saw the wing open. I can see the rain now, Sinker. So yes, there's definitely rain, and it has just started to pour down at the southern loop as we come up towards Stoner and Miller.
Here it is.
Here it is. So now it's going to be, when do they come in for wets? Do they try and force the issue, or do they stay out for a little bit and come in a bit later?
Come in early, come in now. Come in now.
Well, the thing is, you don't want to come in whilst the track is still dry necessarily, but I reckon they've got about 1 to 2 laps till they're definitely going to need to come in.
84 frames a second, and Iracing just booted me.
Oh no. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do this little radio show for you at the moment. Burn still leads the way, hasn't come in quite yet. Yeah, stay 2 laps out. That's what I'm thinking, Connor, because it's going to take a little bit for the track to actually, people hate this, moisten up a little bit.
Yeah, but you want... Also, do you want to be out there once it's wet and be the first one out there on wet?
I can see spray at the southern loop, right? So there is spray at the southern loop. So I think now it's going to have to be this lap that they're going to have to come in. It is definitely going to have to be this lap that they're going to have to come in, just based on the spray.
It's a bit deceiving. The spray is what gives it away. I don't think they've got the puddles and the rain down exactly to like, you know, because it looked like it was drying out for the 86s, but it wasn't. It was still wet. So it's very interesting. I saw the rain falling on the halo and on the dash of the cars, and then pretty much that would be my signal. Get in there, get them changed, and be the first on the wets, and just keep smashing while everyone's hopefully sliding off or going in the pits while you're out there.
Dodds is in, so is Sheaf. So they've just jumped
yes,
in.
It is already.
We're gonna head in to into our helmet cam of Daniel Byrne, and yeah, you can see the rain flowing past him as he tries to continue driving around. He's definitely in. I think there are certain parts on this track which are a little bit wetter than others. Yeah, we love it moist, Adrian. We love it moist. I did make that. I said it before. I said some people won't like this, and then I said as the track starts to moisten, but it is definitely starting to get a little bit wetter out there as we currently stand. So Burns in. Johnston is he's pushing the envelope. So is Anderson. So they're going a lap later.
It's not worth the risk. It's raining. Get in there. What are you going to achieve by trying to pushing it? You're not going to get faster on these slicks. If anything, you're taking a risk where you're going to slide off. Look at it, they're struggling already, yeah?
Yeah, they are a little bit.
Yeah,
Sheafy spun it round. Oh, no.
Dangerous move.
And because Anderson caught the outside line there, it's just spun him round.
Ask Sebastian Vettel what it feels like to be driving on slicks in the wet.
Yep, they definitely should have come in this lap.
Yep.
Definitely should have come in this lap. Johnson's got damage. Burns going to keep coming round.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we get a safety car and just kind of reset them all up, just to let everyone get into the wets?
Not sure, mate. Not sure. That'll be up to the race control. Freo's in there at the moment doing race control, so that'll be his call. Either way, they're slowing right down. Being the first one on the wets, you'd be just flying it now.
Anderson's back out there though, so he is still going.
Yeah.
He will surely come in this lap.
Matty Gerard just set the fastest lap of the 1:23.022.
Well,
was that before?
I'll tell you, that was before. I'll tell you now, we're not going to beat that lap again in this race.
No.
We're never going to get it to dry enough that it's going to.
They're already doing 128s, 152s, 151s.
Yeah. Adrian saying, love how much the rain adds to racing and strats. It is. It's going to add so much to the strategy play, and this is what I absolutely love about it. We can see Gerard, he's already struggling. I believe he might still be on wets. Still on dries, possibly.
Yes,
Burn
Connor,
is
he's
on
doing
wets.
an IS. Stefan McCartane's in the box tonight.
So all of a sudden, this is now going to be the test, because obviously these cars are a bit faster than the 86s. We can see the dark cloud that's just come over, and it's just overheading this Phillip Island circuit. We're into the rain. We've got 28 minutes of running left here tonight out at Phillip Island for our one race in the SF24s prior to Season 2. Once this race is done, you're then going to have to wait until Season 2 rolls around to see these cars back out on track for SRWtv. Sinker, it's offering us a nice little perspective, obviously. I've already mentioned, and I'm trying to contain myself, how excited I am about these cars out on track finally, and it's going to come out of me when we get into Season 2. And we've got them lined up for a full season with the possibility of wet running. It is going to be absolutely epic, and it is, to finally have some modern open wheelers out there. Love my open wheeler racing. I know you do too. But to have these modern machines, no matter how much we love the F3, to have these modern machines which can offer some new challenges, offer the challenge of figuring out, how to deploy your DRS properly, with the new strategy plays that are going to have to come in with the rain. It's going to be absolutely epic, ladies and gentlemen. If you are here for the first time, you've never seen us here, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, head over to the YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, be sure to do this. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and click the bell icon so you are notified. It's going to be a massive rest of 2024 for our next 3 seasons of the year. We're coming up to the end of Season 1. There are 3 rounds to go for the majority of our series that are running at the moment. We've got 2 races left of Round 6. That being tomorrow night for the V8 Supercars Pro-Am, and then Monday night for the Formula Vs. Then we head into Round 7. 3 rounds to go for Season 1. If you haven't signed up already for Season 2, get in, sign up, get your entry in, pay your fees, and you'll be able to go racing with us for the rest of the year if you sign up on a yearly subscription.
I don't know what Shimmy's asking. He goes, who are you guys? I'm not sure. Maybe he's been gone for a while. What are you watching, mate?
Yeah, it must be. It must be new to the broadcast scene, right?
F3s traditionally are on Wednesday nights for us, and they'll remain that way. Thursday nights, our tin toppers, our little 86s. Monday nights, our Formula V. V8s on Tuesdays and Sundays, and Friday is our GT3 GTP class.
Yep. So
as you know, 'cause
IMSA
you've
running
made
on
it.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who are out there who haven't driven with SRW before, go to our website www.simracingworld.com.au, register as a driver, and from there you will get an email with your Discord link. You may go into the Discord, and then you can pick what you would like to race. We have season options and full year options as well as subscriptions. So,
I believe it's what, it's $30 for a year.
Yep.
Like it's absolutely chump change. Like pay your
$10
$30. It's $10
Yep.
a season plus you get a free season if you sign up at the start of the year. So Connor's saying he would race, but Logitech is on Wednesdays. So unfortunately for
That's
him,
all right, mate. That's all good.
Yeah.
We've got a massive field at the moment of 30 drivers plus in the F3s, pros, pro-am, and am class, all fighting it out, same as our 86s, and also in our V8s.
And
on,
obviously
Tuesday
as
night.
well, we'll have our number boards set up for these cars. Now, I just want to speak to you about this thing. Now, obviously, with people possibly changing between classes mid-season, do we think we're going to go back to making the drivers put them on their cars, or is it still going to be up to the broadcasters going forward into season 2?
I think I'm not sure, man. It's up to debate. I'm quite happy for us to do it because I don't have to do it.
Well, I'm happy to make them again, like I did last season.
Can we get in on behind the car behind Duggo there, and let's just see how big the rooster tail is when they're driving. So it's not full. Can you get his helmet cam rather than the over the top?
Yeah.
That's it. Let's have a look to see how much this rain is actually out
Look
there.
at that. You cannot see Doug. All you can see is just grey.
You can just follow the grey. So this is how. This is it. You've got to literally go out a little bit wider so you can see what's going on around you. It just adds a new facet to the racing because you just can't stick that close to the guy in front of you and hope you get away. Look at the puddles here.
Look at that.
He's broken. There's a lot of sitting water there.
You know what I think, Sinker? The wetter this tracks get, this corner here is going to be incredibly dangerous. It's already slippery in the dry, but in the wet, it's going to be atrocious to try and drive around. So it's going to take a lot of skill to get it done.
Left-hander up here coming up as well because that's an off-camber.
Yeah, which I think helps. It helps that it's off camber.
Yeah, but it's also got a bit of in camber as well on the second part of the apex.
Yeah, you just
So
turn one, you just don't run it as deep as normal, but turn two.
That first section of it is actually an in camber, then it banks out again, and then this bit goes in a bit, and then it banks out again. So you're really in a position where you could get screwed either way.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do it without. We need a Larco to give us like a visual aid of drawing how the lines work at certain corners.
Drawing and stuff.
We need a bit of MS Paint up, I reckon, but it's kind of like, normally you run it midpoint of the corner, you go as deep as possible for that apex, and then you then run it in, cut in the corner, where in the wet, your apex kind of moves back towards the entry to the corner, and you kind of then turn it a little bit earlier mid-corner just to kind of catch where the line changes. So it's quite interesting how that can work out. Obviously, turn 2, the Southern Loop, very, very easy to run it wide there. But, it's as we see, Daniel Byrne goes off at Lukey Heights. And we mentioned it prior to the race as well, Sinker, earlier tonight. I was talking to some of the boys. I said, Lukey Heights is going to be incredibly difficult as well because of that the way the corner works and the way that you have to actually attack the corner to actually get the most out of it. And how to get around that corner. It's going to be so hard to do. Kind of saying just don't go on the racing line. That's right. You don't run the dry line. You got to run the wet line. And it's just kind of how the line changes in the wet.
So they haven't updated it. They haven't I'm just into the options section of iRacing at the moment, and they haven't changed the options yet. You will be able to have a wet racing line as well, but it's not available as yet.
Bill Vella saying Doug thriving in these moist conditions. Oh, he is. We know that the grandpa loves it moist, and he's absolutely loving it out there. He is frothing at the mouth at being able to just wring the neck of this car around these wet conditions. Kind of saying we should move F3s to Monday. I don't know about the possibility of moving it to Monday.
We're going to stick with Formula V's for a while and see how they go. They are growing. It's a let's put Australia event as well. It might be because it's only a short race. There might be moves a little bit closer and maybe put something in after it. Something a little bit porky, maybe.
No, the poor car needs to be Sunday afternoon prior to the supercars sinker.
You're still beating that drum, aren't you?
I am going to beat that drum to absolute death.
I don't know, maybe a TCR.
Maybe, or how's this for an idea? Yeah. Formula V's into Formula 3s.
Well, I like our Wednesday nights. That's been traditional for us. It's kept us going.
That's true. That's true, but it's also you wouldn't go head to head with anyone on a
Formula V will
Monday.
become a prelude to the Formula 3. So
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like
on a Wednesday, you mean? Yep.
Yeah, well, on a Wednesday possibly, or if you wanted to move it to a Monday, whichever it was, you could do it that way.
One thing the wet has done is it's gapped everyone. Everyone's out to a lot of time between each other. The closest ones is really Doddsy and Johnson, and he's like 1 second apart. So what has happened is it stopped. Maybe it's Phillip Island that's done it, but everyone is gapped and everyone's just cruising at their own pace at the moment and trying to stay safe by the look of it.
Or Jack Anderson runs it way too deep down at Miller, manages to pull it up. Chop saying dirt racing on a Sunday sounds good. Well, so what, are you just going to run wide every single Sunday night in the supercars, Chop? Is that what you're saying? You're just going to run on the dirt? But we can keep on going through a couple of incidents that have also happened. Danny Matisic has also had an incident. It's down at the final corner. Has he run it wide?
There's a few people off at the moment. Tyler
big
off track.
spin.
Hutto's back off.
Oh, that's down
he's
at
off track
Southern
as
Loop
well.
as well. That was at the Southern Loop. This is Brad Hudson as well. This is down at Miller.
Oh, he's just missed it all together.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a good idea going on the dirt though.
Mr. Sheaf doing the exact same corner as well. Slightly earlier in proceedings. Oh,
there's no real. It's all wet. It's just wet everywhere. There's no. Whether you're on the racing line or whether you're on the wet line, it's all the same at the moment. That's how wet it is out there.
So we already see a couple of drivers going a lap down at this stage in the proceedings. Jack Anderson still fighting within the top 10 at this point in time. P6 on the road for the Velocity Racing Team driver. He's just trying to chase down Andrew Lydon, who's a bit up further up at Hayshed now, up towards Lukey Heights. As he makes his way up to the top of the hill. Seen a couple of moments up here tonight, Sinker. And as he comes down towards MG.
regular F3 drivers, Mr. Gowans, Byrne, Gerard, Lydon have all made their way across to the front. Yeah. It looks like Mr. Catagazinos has settled right in as well. He's not that far off the pace at all. Actually, Byrne and Catagazinos are about a second a lap quicker than what Dougie Gowans is at the moment. Dougie's last lap was a 1:38.6. And Byrne is a 1:37.1.
I've just noticed something, Sinker.
Yeah.
It stopped raining. No, that was the gear change. But it stopped raining. So now we're going to get the opposite effect of what we saw in the 8.6s where we go into the dry. Now, it didn't rain for too long. The track doesn't seem as wet as what it was in the 8.6s. We've got 15 minutes left.
No, what you're seeing is the complete track is wet. That's at the moment. It's Phillip Island, mate.
Gowans has left Byrne.
Let's just say the weather's like weather condition.
Yeah.
What does it say? Is there humidity out there? Is it wind? What's it going to dry? Is the wind going to dry? It doesn't look like the sun's coming out, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's 82%, 81% humidity at the moment. Cloudy skies at this stage, 19 degrees track temp. Actually, no, it's 20 degrees ambient temperature. Oh, that's Harry Dodds, who's had a spin at the exit of Southern Loop. Got a bit of wind, 30 k's an hour of wind.
Oh, that's a lot.
Stage.
That's more than what we normally have.
It's about 27, 29. It changes as you go around the track as well. So
yeah, it does. Yeah.
And actually, I think the percentage on the droplet might actually be how wet the track is, not the humidity. I think that's actually that's how wet it is. So it's 76% wet on track.
Okay, that's something new.
So Michael Platt has also had an incident in the background of proceedings. He's coming up into Lukey Heights. Has he just run it wide? Oh, he's just lost it
yeah,
mid-corner.
he's taking too much pace in there. Yeah. He's just taking too much. He's probably got a bit of washout there as well, because he was in the draft and he's sort of come inside the line, and he's probably got a bit of washout of there. He's probably lost a bit of traction too.
Yeah, he forgot his towel on that one. He was just way too washed.
Oh, look at the little red light at the back in the rain, flashing. Not that you could see it before.
Yeah, no, you can't see it. That's one thing I think is quite deceiving, is you actually can't even see the rain light. We should be able to see it, but we can't really see it from the spray. So if there's anyone out there who's actually raced in real life in the rain and they're with cars with rain lights, how easy can you see them in rain? Because it seems like on TV, at least like for F1, you can see them pretty consistently in the rain, where on iRacing, they're almost non-existent.
Yeah. I still don't understand. Every other car we race has got brake lights.
You don't understand why these
put them on the open wheelers. They put them when they're charging.
You don't need them.
Charging when. Why? Because you just don't see the brake light.
Are you asking this because you ran up the bum of the leader in the F3 race out at Magny-Cours?
Would have been nice to know I'm braking.
What do you want, Formula E's out there, Singo? I think they actually have brake lights on their wings.
Yeah, well, so does the F1s, but they're usually on only when they're charging, and which is an indication that they're braking, but it's not a braking; it's a recharging. So it's like letting the engine slow you down, yeah. So they're recharging that way, but I don't know. Why not? Make it easier for me.
Too much weight. That's what it is.
You reckon? They've already got them. They turn them on.
Oh yeah, but turning the light on maybe burns power.
It's burning up the curves, you reckon?
Yeah. The lack of VRS off the back of that one. But on board now with Daniel Byrne, who is just trying to chase down Mr. Dougie Gowns. You can see the track just starting to dry up a little bit, but we're not quite there just yet. There's still some spray out there. We know once we have no spray, that's when it's going to be time for those dry tyres. Oh, the changeable conditions, though, are just starting to challenge them a little bit. There's a little bit less spray on those kind of dry patches, I'm noticing, so it may not be too soon. That's a car spun round. It was Callum Rossender.
Didn't see that till the spray died down. That was close. That was really hard to see.
So here was Harry Dodds up at Southern Loop. He had a bit of a spin.
Yeah.
And then we'll show Callum's just after this. That was a big spin from Harry. Yeah, dryline is just starting to come up now, Phil. So we may actually get to the point where we have got a bit of a changeover. Rossender, though, he lost it mid-corner. That was why there was dirt on the track.
He got it. He's touched the curb, and the curb's wet and slippery, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil. The boys were saying that what we're seeing on broadcast as a dry line in the car is still very wet.
Yeah,
so we just don't know.
It's quite deceiving.
While there is the only real indication that the track is really wet at this point, when the track is like this drying, is the rooster tail.
Yeah.
Once that starts getting smaller, the track is getting drier. It does look like by eye that we're getting dry sections of it, but when they're driving like that, looks dry right there, but it's not. It's still a rooster tail coming off it.
Yeah, I think what we are seeing, though, is there's a little bit less spray coming off the front tyres at certain points, but there's still some spray coming off the rear tyres. So especially through here, between Southern Loop and Stoner, you'll see on the front right tyre of Burns' car, there's actually hardly any spray coming off it through the dry part, but there'll still be spray off the back. So that's kind of, again, that's our indication at the moment that it's still not quite ready for dry tyres. We may have 5 minutes of running if the dries out fast enough in the next 5 minutes. But I'm not quite hopeful yet after learning how long it is actually going to take for the track to dry out when we had the 8.6s out there. So
yeah, that took a fair while. Like it was close to like 7 or 8 laps, really, wasn't it?
yeah. Yeah, it
So
was.
we noticed the rain stopped about 2 laps ago.
Yeah, they went about. I think it started to dry up in that race around about 5 minutes in, and then they went about 15 minutes, and it was still wet. So we started to have we stopped rain 5 minutes into this, so they've been going for about 25 minutes on this track at this stage. Actually, no, sorry, no, it stopped raining. It started raining 5 minutes in, stopped raining, I think about 15 minutes in, so it was about 10 minutes of rain. So we've had about 15 minutes of dry running at this stage, but it's whether the track's actually going to dry up fast enough before the end for them to really try out going on to dries.
Yeah. Well, again, what the rain has done is gapped the space in between everyone. It's not. I guess the close racing will come back once everyone starts getting experience with it. But
yeah,
at the
I
moment,
think obviously this car is brand new as well. Drivers are just starting to get used to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, wet is very difficult in its own right, but you've got these things which rely on going to the grip limit. What the drivers are going to have to relearn now.
Kevin Wakefield just passed Greg Johnson.
He has too.
Yeah,
he has
he's
passed
just
him.
done that. Platt's got 2 seconds on the back of Danny Matisic at the back there. 1 second. Oh no, he spun. He spun.
This was Michael Platt's incident. Oh, he ran it way too deep at Miller.
Yeah. Yep. He tried to make the move, but unfortunately, you got to make the move, complete the move.
Yeah, Dougie Gowans has also made a mistake because he's actually lost the lead to Daniel Byrne. This would be said mistake that Gowans made. What's he done? It's up at Lukey Heights. Vela saying easy to do when the moisture dries up. Oh, that'll be why he hooked the curb.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just rocketed him off the track at Lukey Heights. I thought I saw some smoke up there, but I didn't see a car off track, so that'll be why he was off the left.
Inevitable. Daniel was lapping a full second faster than Dougie Gowans was for those approaching laps already. So it was a matter of once he got close to him, when he's going to put the pressure on or pass him.
Yeah, so I think one thing that is now the learning curve for these cars is when drivers are actually going to be practicing in the rain, they're going to have to relearn where a grip limit is on these cars in every condition. Because obviously, to be quick in these cars, you want to find your grip limit so you can drive at that limit the whole race.
Yep.
Doing that in the rain, incredibly difficult. So
yeah, 100%.
You know,
2 drivers have gone in already, and looks like, I'm not sure if they've gone on slicks or not, but Tyler Sheaf and Danny Matisic have both gone in.
Sheafy's on dries. Sheafy's risking it.
Here we go.
And it's too early for
Rob,
slicks.
oh, it's too early.
It's way too early for slicks. Matisic has done the same thing. So watch him just absolutely skirt off out of the pits here.
How wet the pit is.
Yeah, I know. It's too early. It's I think maybe another couple of, and you can see there's a puddle right there as well. He's managed to get it onto the track, but I think it's too early. It's too early at this point for dries. You can see there's still a spray. Anderson's had an incident too. Up at Lukey Heights, down into MG. Has he just run it wide possibly? Oh, he's hooked the curb and that's just spun it round. That's the learning curve again of the wet running.
Screen, aren't you? It's very irritating.
Yeah, we don't worry. Quit picking at me. We're going to get it fixed. Don't worry. I actually have the code now that fixes it, so I can actually go through every single one and fix it.
Mattis is off again. So Jacko, your mate Jacko's gone to the pit. So is Harry Dodds.
We'll see if he puts some dries on, but it's too early still.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think Anderson has a drive-through. I think for Iracing Black Flag. So he's pulling out of the pits now. Doddsy, he might have an Iracing Black Flag as well.
Well, yeah, it looks like it. He stayed on the dries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still on wet. So we we're not changing the incident limit when we get into wet races. It's still going to be the exact same. So it means that drivers are just going to have to be a little bit more careful out there, but it is going to offer us some
You just got to drive within your means. Drive. That's Tyler Sheep's gone off. You just got to drive within
still
your
on
means.
those dries as well.
Conditions change. Your driving style has to change to coordinate.
It's ironic, isn't it? Qualifying was dry, and Sheafy was on the wets, and then now at the changeover point, he's done it too early, and now he's on dries in a wet condition.
Yeah. Andrew Lynon's on the back of Sam Kutakazinos by 0.25. Putting a lot of pressure.
He is indeed. We'll go on board with him here. He wants it round the outside at Southern Loop. Not quite close enough just yet. There'll be 5 minutes to go in just a couple of seconds. He's come up towards Hunter. Oh, Lydon's having a bit of dropout issues. He's just dropped out for me just for a second there. He's managed to get it done.
Someone went flying off. That was Tyler Sheep again.
Oh.
Looks like Matisic has gone back in the pits to put the wets back on. Callum Rosendale has gone in the pits now as well.
I don't blame him for doing it. This was Platt's incident just quickly up at Lukey Heights. Down into MG. Has he done what Jack Oz has done? I think he has. I think he's... Oh, no, he's run it too deep.
Yeah, he's just got too much pace going through there.
But Lydon
look at that.
Still battling.
Look at that. Lydon's taking the outside line through here. Is he going to be able to outbreak him? He's got a lot of experience, Lydon, and he has done so very nicely and very cleanly in a tough braking spot, a very tough braking spot.
He's actually gapped Casinos now by quite a fair bit. It seems that the lap traffic is just starting to break him up a little bit. People are saying Gowan's 4 seconds faster than Byrne last lap. Well, maybe that means that Gowan's is just starting to come back into his own here over Daniel Byrne. So we could be in for a very interesting final 5 minutes of this race. He's still on wets at the moment, and he's just trying to chase him down as we come up through Lukey Heights and into MG. Oh, and that's what'll be making them spin, is that inside puddle.
Yep.
I reckon.
Just gotta roll through that.
Yeah, that's what's been causing them to spin, just getting on the gas that little bit too early, running over the puddle, and that's what's been causing the issues. As we come round now through the final corner, down the straight, up towards turn number 1. See Gowans, he's hooking that outside of the track, probably expecting someone to come out of the pits. Doesn't want to get in their way or have them get in his way. And in through turn 1 we come. And what a wild ride it is around this circuit in these cars. So good to see. Down through the Southern Loop.
At the grip level in the wet. I really am.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a lot more slipperier, but these cars are really, really holding their own. I think they're going to be really fun to race next season.
I think they are offering us up some,
no
some good
pods.
options. Ah, that's right.
No side pods.
Yeah, they've got hardly any side pod on them. They've got the no air intake on the top, which they used to have. They used to have almost the big, call it a tumour, that used to hang off the left-hand side of the car.
That was for the turbo, wasn't it?
I think so. I think it was. I think it was the intake for the turbo. A couple of drivers have had some incidents in the background, including Tyler Sheaf. This is what's happened to him. Down at MG, just run it wide, and then Matthew Gerard into the Southern Loop he came, and then Harry Dodds as well had this incident here.
Edward Lydon's up 7 places. Jack Anderson, Nando, whatever he wants to call himself, he can't make up his mind by the look of it.
That was just however he signed up for the series.
He's up 10 places, so he's doing well.
See a couple more cars just spun round, struggling to keep it on the track.
Yeah,
tough
Walker
conditions out there. But it's Daniel Byrne in the lead. Is this a preview for us of Season 2, Sinker? Is he going to be the one to watch?
Could well be.
For
Could
Carlin's
well be. How many laps
Motorsport?
we got left?
We've got 2 minutes left, so I reckon we've got 2 laps.
Yep, is Barney going to be out there waving his flag, or is he going to be too scared to get wet?
I'm going to be waving his umbrella.
Black and white one, you reckon, spinning it around?
No. You'll have a full white one and then a black and white one for the checkers.
Like Gene, whatever his name was.
Adrian Lurie saying, surprise, driver 808 in the lead. Well, are we that surprised? We know how good of an operator he is. And will he be the one to have the advantage coming into Season 2 of SRW Shannon's Insurance, soon to be called SF24 Nationals, currently known as the Formula 3 Nationals? It'll be a mid-season changeover for the F1 Shadow Series.
Oh, he's touched that curb and it's just spun him right around. Did you see it?
Yeah, that was Callum Rossender.
That was almost like real world. Touch the paint and off you go.
So Byrne's going to come down the main straight for the second to last time. Barney's out there, white flag in hand. 1 lap to go, 39 minutes, 15 seconds into proceedings. This is the final lap of the race. It's Byrne to Gowans to Lydon to Catacazinos to Anderson. That's the 5. Dodds, Gerard, Hudson, Johnston, Wakefield, the 10. Hardwick, Platt, Walker, Rossender, Matisic, and Sheaf make up the rest of the grid at the moment. You know, Anderson, he said he's racing these cars in Season 2. He's putting on a good showing here and possibly making a claim to the top of the Pro-Ams if he gets put into it, or possibly even a cheeky pro spot at this time. Like, he's bringing it to the big boys at the moment.
Yep, he's doing well. Doing very well. Who was that just went off?
That was Sheafy.
I think he was just getting out of the way. That was a blue flag. So as you can see at the moment, viewers, it looks like a dry track with a couple of wet spots, but there's still a fair bit of spray coming off in those dry zones, like right on the race line. But they are on the normal race line at the moment. They're not like banking it high and staying out in the wet tracks. So it's interesting to see what it's. Can you go for a cockpit view, mate? Let's just see what the road looks like.
We're about to cross the line.
Yeah.
We're about to cross the line here for the end of the race. So we'll head on board with our provisional winner at the moment, Daniel Byrne, as he comes around the final corner. Needs a tear off his helmet, as we can see, but he's going to come round. He's going to cross the line for the final time to take victory here tonight ahead of Dougie Gowans. Andrew Lydon is in P3, but he's a fair way off the start-finish line. He's just going to try and get it round here just to finish off this race. Of course, if any of these drivers want to get into the IMSA session, they're going to have to move quickly because it's 20 to 10, and that qualifying going to be starting up very shortly. Catacazinos coming round as well. Anderson has finished P5 in this race.
A lot of fun. That was awesome, mate. That was awesome.
It was very good.
Really good. Daniel Byrne, if you can hear us and you're watching the show, get yourself in one of the lounges so we can drag you up and have a bit of a chin wag, mate. Love to get your driver's perspective on the drying track and everything that we saw out there. Mr. Iceman says it's already started. What, the race? No,
no. Qualifying's already started. That's why I've.
That's okay. They can still get in.
Yeah, that's why I've cut it off just quickly.
Yeah.
Just so we got time to get into the session. 15 minutes of qualifying for those boys in the IMSA session. So we'll quickly do our changeover right now.
So who have we got? Can we get our winner, Daniel Byrne? Where is Daniel? Daniel Byrne, where are you?
I don't know if he's in there or not. We've got Doddsy in there as well.
Scored.
Tyson's up there. We could drag in Tyson and have a quick chat to him.
Mr. McAvoy?
Yeah.
Do we have any other pole sitters? 1, 2, 3. No, we don't. No, we don't. Well, that's okay. We will move on and get someone else. Grab whoever you want, mate. I'm just looking for the next session to get myself in there.
We'll drag in Mr. McAvoy as I load up the IMSA session. Mr. McAvoy, we've sneakily dragged you away. How much of the racing have you seen out there tonight, and what are you thinking, if you have seen it, of these wet conditions?
Well, I haven't watched a single thing. I've decided to jump in very late and do this IMSA race coming up.
Oh, very good. Good.
So far the track conditions here are pretty dry, but I'm pretty grey.
I'm hearing a bit of something in your voice, mate. Have you been out partying?
Huh? Possibly.
Possibly. You're a little bit more cheerful than normal, mate. I'm hearing different sides to your voice here, mate. All it's missing is
cups of cover, you know.
All it's missing is.
Oh no, I can handle that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you had a good day by the sounds of it.
Yeah, very good day. First proper hit out on the footy field, and referee no red cards, 2 yellow cards, and it was pretty productive day. And the boys invited me back for a drink and some kava afterwards, so I can't say no to kava.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Back and relax. Come home, watch the footy, and my team won. So now time to put someone in the fence, maybe.
Well, you know what? I'm going to grab Hutto. You go and warm up, because otherwise you're going to end up in the fence by yourself in the dark.
Yep.
I'm going to get Hutto and see what he thought. All right. Catch you later, Tice.
Thanks, boys.
See, mate. All right. Let's grab Mr. Hudson. Mr. Bradley Hudson, the admin of our Formula 3s. How are you, buddy? How was it, mate?
Mate, that was awesome. It was great to see going from a dry track to a wet track, like when to go in and take tyres. I think most of the field got it right, kind of went out for 1.5 laps. And then just seeing the track slowly dry out. And I was actually able to find a bit of pace out there. Mind you, there's a few puddles still on track, brought me undone, especially Lukey Heights. But that was fantastic.
How excited are you, Hutto, for the SF24 next season?
Oh, rain every week. Nah, just kidding.
If we did all UK tracks, mate, it might be rain every week.
I guess we've got a lot to play around with going into next season. Like, brand new car, and that car is unbelievably stable on the rear end. Like compared to the F3, that first lap when you're on slicks and rain starts to creep in, it starts to pave like an F3 on the back end. Like, you can't just pin it straight out of the corner. With these things, the Super Formula lights, you get out of your corner, you turn it, bang, put the foot down, and away you go. So. They're very, very forgiving. So any people looking to dip their toe into Formula racing and want a bit of beef under the engine, these are the car.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds like we're on a winning formula for next season already, mate. I think we're just going to have to be careful what tracks we choose for that time of year, because we might have rain every week.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I guess we'll have to sit down and whether we go static or dynamic. I'd like to do dynamic, so we're actually racing the conditions of the track on the day. I think it seems appropriate.
Mate. I agree. So, I like that way, because that way it's unpredictable, and it happens to be whatever it happens to be.
Yeah,
the thing is, where our seasons are opposite to the rest of Europe and the US, so we'll be here in summer and we could be doing road racing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we follow the F1 series, don't forget. So most of the races over there should be nice and dry. Like, Spain, that's nice and dry normally. But Spa, if we or when we go there, I think it's actually season 3. It's penciled in for.
Yep.
So that one normally attracts rain, but look, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, true. And just waiting to see how many fast repairs Steve's going to need to get around one track.
Oh, yeah. I think if there's, I think we'll end up sticking with one. But yeah, if there's rain, there's going to be carnage, and it'll be good fun anyway.
Either way, it'll be good fun. Exactly. Look, it's it is what it is. It's what real racing does as well. You have an accident in wet, it's not forgiving.
Yeah, well, we can't just press escape and bang back to the pits and go get a new car, can we? So
no.
Or in real life. Yeah. Well, gents, I'll leave you to it. Go enjoy IMSA, and I'm going to take off.
Are you going to have a crack at IMSA?
Nah, I've done my dash for this evening. I'm all raced out. But yeah, you guys have a lot of fun. Anyone watching out there, go get onto SRW website, sign up for some racing. Next season's going to be an absolute cracker. Hope to see you out there.
All right, mate. You're a legend. Have a good night, mate. Chat to you during the week.
Cheers, fellas.
Well, Steve, we're into our qualifying session now as well. Just up here in the blimp, checking out how some of the drivers are doing around Le Mans. They're coming round for their first flying laps, of course, just to see how they progress. I have taken the time just to quickly add some classes in. So at least we have got the differentiation of the GTPs and the GTDs.
Yep.
If anyone joins late, it means they're going to have to quickly get added mid-race. But yeah.
It actually doesn't have a watch. I could not see a watch option.
Oh, you got to click up on the little arrow that lets you watch. That's how I joined.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It's not active. It's it just either you're in or you're not. So it's all right. My name isn't on the list, but that's okay. They know I'll be racing. Question is, let's see how the PC handles it.
share your screen again?
Yes, I will do. I'm just quickly
And let's see if we can
another
push
driver.
it to push the system a bit harder through this race and see if it will flash or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll double check it all, see how it's all running.
Well, race 3, everybody. What a big night. We have had the 86s, now just finished with the Formula 3s. A lot of fun. Heaps, actually a lot less carnage than we thought it was going to be, eh? We thought it was going to be a lot more carnage than what it was, and it was quite clean and really good fun racing out there. I haven't looked to see how many cars we've got out there. It looks like we've got about
I think we've got about 15 or so at the moment. So
yeah, so there's still time to get in. We are into 9 minutes into a 20-minute qualifier. So if you're out there watching, you've still got time to get into the session. Go to hosted SRWtv, Le Mans, and our IMSA series, and the password is SRWwet, W-E-T, and you can get in there and have some fun and see how it goes. Yeah, just typed it on there for you, SRWwet. Get in there and have some fun with the boys and yeah, show us something spectacular so we can have a bit of a chat about it all. These cars are looking amazing here, Hamish.
We're on board now with our resident race controller, Tyson McAvoy, who's having a crack in a GTP car tonight, Singer. So a fairly different run for him here compared to the supercar that he normally races on a Sunday night. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. Jordan Ferguson, the only driver at the moment to set a lap in the GTP, and he's on for an improvement across this lap at the moment. He's done quite a few laps around this Le Mans circle. I'll have to see how he can go. Sam Catacasino saying that was good fun. I'll take fourth with no practice. I mean, why wouldn't you? That was absolutely epic racing. Got Connor Nixon out there from Familiar Motorsports. He currently sits he sits, sorry, as I should say, P1 at the moment for the GTD class in qualifying. There were questions whether the rest of the Vermilion boys would be out there. No signs just yet of them in the session, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get some other drivers out there as well. Aaron Schroeder, he's out there in the GTD car too. Hasn't returned this season for IMSA, but maybe he can get out there for season 2 as well. Michael Platt is out there in the GTDs. Harry Dodds normally runs a Merc GTD car. He's out there in the GTP here tonight in the Cadillac. So maybe he's testing things out. Maybe a change of class for him come season 2 of the IMSA Shadow Series for next season. Of course, if you've been missing majority of this season, ladies and gentlemen, well, and if you want to catch up, go onto the channel SRWtv here on YouTube. Head into the playlist. You can catch up on every single round of all 6 of our series. They're all in their own separate playlists with every round in there. You can watch all of the first 6 rounds of the Tuesday Supercars, the Wednesday Formula 3s, the Thursday 86s, and the Friday IMSA Shadow Series. Currently in there as well is our pre-set up broadcast for the Sunday Supercars and the Formula Vs on Monday night. So when they go live, they will be in the playlist too, ready to go for you, ready to watch. So you've got plenty of time now to catch up prior to the final portion of this season for any of our series. 3 rounds to go, as we mentioned, after this coming Monday when we finish our racing week off for Formula Vs once again. But, you know, if you've missed the action this season for any of them, then you want to go check it out because there's been some absolutely epic racing. Round 6 has already been an absolute banger sinker. We started out at Motegi in the Supercars Tuesday night, and what an absolute... there's a certain word I want to say, but I can't because we're not late night enough. But what an absolutely epic race.
Mate.
Well, it was an absolute cracker. And
we're expecting big things from tomorrow night's race. That's for sure.
We are. It should offer us up. It's absolutely spectacular racing. So if you want to join us live tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 7:50 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series comes at you live from Motegi with the pros and the Pro-Ams out on track. But right now we're here for our final race of our Super Soaker Saturday. Let us know what you've thought of it so far, what you thought of the 86s, what you thought of the debut of the SF24s, and then also what you think of these IMSA cars. Jack was saying, iRacing saying no to me joining, but you have already joined in the Acura, where you can't change cars, of course, though, Jack. You should know that. You can't change once you've already joined in a car. So unfortunately, you're going to have to live with the Acura possibly at this point in time, unless it's just not letting you join the session at all. I'm not sure.
Jack, you're definitely a mate of
It won't load in. Apparently, it actually just won't load him into the session at all. So he signed up.
Okay,
It's put his name into the session. Yeah.
I would, if you got time to reboot the computer, mate, reboot it. You've got enough time to do that. Yeah, reboot the computer and see if you go. It was doing really. It is doing really weird things for me. It's actually tonight the first time it hasn't booted me out from the very first race. It booted me twice, but the rest of the race has been good. And I'm getting some massively good frame rates, but iRacing has done some really weird stuff in the last few days. So those of you who were around on Wednesday night or Thursday night in the 86 series, everyone was begging for us to put the rain on, but we didn't go for it because we needed to test things tonight. But cars were driving on their rear wheels. Cars were hovering above the track.
Oh, that was F3s on Wednesday at Bathurst.
That was F3s. Yes, it was at Bathurst. Correct. Yeah, correct. And the cars were bouncing through the air. It was really weird. I disappeared. The whole field for me disappeared 3 times. And then it would, after a bit of time, I'd just pull off to the side. It would just boot me out of the session. So it was doing a lot of weird things. So it was too risky to run wet sessions until we've tested them like tonight. And we can see it's going to be good. Connor Nixon's got a few purples there, mate. He's doing really well.
He's just looking to improve on his time at this stage in the Merc. We haven't seen many Mercs in the GTD field this season. I think only a few, those being Greg Leake and Harry Dodds. Leakey has now changed, though. He's made the change to the Lambo mid-season. Jack was saying I might just sit it out. Had fun in GR86 and the SF24s tonight. I'm happy with my results, especially with no practice in either cars. Well, that's all good, Jackos. I mean, even when I was having to join the SF24 session and even this session, I actually had to close my iRacing and then reopen it because it wouldn't actually let me withdraw from the previous session. It's
not showing up.
Yeah, like mine would show up, but even when I clicked on it, it wouldn't work. So I just had to close my iRacing and reopen it straight away, and then that allowed me to join the new session.
In the list format, and it wasn't showing. Tell you what, Connor took those curves very aggressively. That setup is looking very firm. In purple in the last 2 sections did really well.
Puts it up into the 355s that last time down, and we're seeing drivers struggle to get the lap times down here tonight. They're struggling a little bit just to keep it a bit clean. How are they going to go when it's raining? There's been a heap of practice sessions this week in hosted for this track ever since the rain came out. So a couple of these drivers should have some experience when the rain does come. If they're struggling to set laps in the dry, how are they going to go when it gets to wet?
Well, it's going to be very interesting, mate. It's look, we'll find out. We'll find out very soon.
That's the only way we can say, isn't it? We'll find out. So I think even with a small field tonight, this race especially, because we know the field can spread out a little bit at IMSA, and just to kind of go behind the curtain a little bit, this race maybe will be a little bit more of less of our regular broadcast style, more of us kind of just having our discussion, having our chin wag of how we thought the rain's been, how we think it can be really produced going forward, of course, obviously. Give you a little bit of insight to a little bit of a producer to host or producer to admin kind of discussion between myself and Sinker, because at the end of the day, it needed to be able to work out for the producers, and I was the one that was testing it tonight for the series. Obviously myself, JP, Toddy if he ever gets into do producing, Shibby for when he comes back as well. This was our test market to see if it actually worked out well for us and if we had any issues. I haven't had any issues tonight, and my computer's on the somewhat lower end of performance. So it's given us a really, really good.
We had a little bit of disappearing at the very beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But it's been good, mate. We're 3 hours. How many hours in are we?
About
we're
2
hours in with an hour to go. I think it's been sensational. I think there's been no issues. The rain looks spectacular when it comes out from all angles, in car, out of car.
Yeah.
Blimp mode, chase mode, everything looks really good. It's going to bring a new diversity to the broadcast, and it's about bloody time.
And I think once it clicks over to 10 o'clock, that's the moment I'm going to go pour myself a whiskey while we call this race. I'm going to be honest, just so we can sit back, enjoy the beauty that is IMSA racing around Le Mans, but also enjoy what it's going to be in these changeable conditions and the challenges that are actually going to get put forward to these drivers. And I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy sipping on my scotch during this race because I'm going to have a smile on my face knowing that I'm not going to be driving in these conditions.
You get your whiskey, mate. It's not the whiskey that's doing this. It's really fog.
Yeah.
It's foggy coming. It's getting foggy in some parts of the track. You can see the clouds in the background are getting darker. And look at how dark those clouds are.
Mate, it's so dark. What has
a ripper?
What has the Jackos has got a boar out. If you don't know what a boar is, Sinker, so a wild boar is a can of bourbon. You can also get it in rum. That is 15% in a 375ml can. They're basically death in a can. They are incredibly strong. I love them. I love how strong they are. One of my mates who is an avid rum and bourbon drinker for a long time, he struggled drinking them, and I tried one, and I'm like, mate, this is nice. I don't know what you're on about. Like, they're actually good. So
fishy boys.
Hey,
where are the fishy boys?
Yeah, where are they? Why are they not coming for a swim?
They were supposed to Whiting, Dykey, who else?
Maybe they forgot.
On the list.
Maybe they forgot.
They're going to show up. No, they couldn't have forgotten. They because I saw them tick the "we're coming tonight" on the chat. So maybe they did forget. Maybe they got in a bit of fun and forgot all about us.
Maybe they did. But look at that! Look, you can't even see the track, Sinker.
Where is it? What's going on?
You can. It's lucky that we clicked on Jordan Ferguson, who has a white car. He just kind of breaks through the fog a little bit when he's out of the trees.
Guys, just so we know where you are.
We need a bit of a flash of the lights.
Flash long.
Hey, you know what? The fishies, they prefer to be a fish out of water, according to Jackos. So they like just flopping about on the dry surfaces.
Well, they would have. The four of them would have made some good numbers tonight. It would have been. Well, we've got 15 out there at the moment. 20 would have been perfect. That's looking good. Mr. Johnson's. Oh, poor guy.
See me saying that he puts it into the wall.
It was looking good, Mr. Johnson's.
It was.
What was that? The SR8?
That was the Audi R8. Yep, the R8 Evo.
Yeah, the Audi R8. That's it.
See Mr. Feely, just trying to get up to pace. It'd be nice to see Mr. Feely out there more often. Obviously, Jake Edwards, a regular in the IMSA series. Good to see him out there. A little bit upset we don't have Mez out there, actually. He absolutely loves Le Mans. He was our winner this season out at Le Mans.
On fire.
Was hoping to see him out there. Hey.
Dodgy's on fire.
He is on fire, although he's just put it up the top, actually. You're right. So it's now going to come down to Ferguson just to try and beat the time. Jack, I was saying, need to rename the team to Salamander Racing. Because a salamander is I think it's a fish that can actually go on dry land and survive. So instead of the fishies, they're now salamanders, quite possibly. But Ferguson couldn't. He did beat the time. Ferguson puts it on pole.
Salamander's got front two legs where the fins are, and it actually can survive, go from pond to pond.
So Jakey Edwards then actually just pips his time, a 3:27.26. In the dying embers of qualifying. Matt Feely, could he possibly get it into the GTD lap times at this point? Only 5 drivers have been able to keep it clean enough to set a lap time here in this qualifying session. I've accidentally left my Facebook open, and now we can hear myself getting messages off of people. But I mean, it's going to be good though. This is going to be a really, really good race. I think this is really going to offer us some opportunities here just to see what it could be like on a bigger circuit, Sinker, in the changeable conditions, and if we see half a track that's dry, half a track that's wet.
Well, it's going to be a fact where you're out on the wet. You're going to have to manage a wet tyre on the dry areas and cover as much wet surface as possible on the way through the dry areas to keep the tyres cool, because it'll be overheating otherwise. So it's going to be very similar to real world.
You see, we're just waiting on Mr. Feely to finish his lap time. Surely that CSR car is your fave livery since it looks like flannel. I do like the old flannel look. That is actually quite nice. I didn't even notice that previously on that car. That is a nice look for it. Almost like the old FAF liveries when they ran the Porsches. They had the red flannel paint job on their car. I think this actually looks really nice.
Just to give you a bit of a insight, they call that gingham.
Gingham.
Gingham is what it's called. It's like a pattern that you would have on a tartan skirt.
Oh yeah, it's like a tartan. Or,
yeah, you call that a gingham pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
That just gives you a bit of background from my old textile days.
Very good. Well, the gingham pattern, I like to call it tartan with my Scottish roots, of course. Probably have the most Scottish name you could ever have.
Yep.
But as Philly crossed the line, he was unable to set a lap time, so it was a dirty for him. And qualifying will now come to an end for us, and we'll get into our 45-minute race for the night, of course. And we'll see how we go.
Well, it's going to be fun no matter what it is. We did predict fog.
And that's our fog that we've got right now. That is not a filter, ladies and gentlemen.
Rain,
that is the fog.
And we did predict it clearing. So Matty Philly's in the fog right now. He's off track. That's him just there. Come on, can't you see him, guys? Guys.
So our starting grid.
If you want to see him, you've got to close
race.
one eye and jump on your left foot.
Is it even going to bring up our starting grid? Yes, it is. There's our starting grid for tonight's race.
There you
Jakey Edwards will start at a pole position ahead of Jordan Ferguson out of P2. It is then Harry Dodds out of P3 with Tyson McAvoy out of P4. Chris Tomlin start P5 ahead of Jack Anderson in P6. They are our 6 GTP cars out on track. Connor Nixon and start out of P7, P1 for the GTDs ahead of Mick Clifton in P2. Stefan McCartan is our race controller. It'll then be Aaron Schroeder in P3 for their class, then Travis Daly. Alexander Ganotis needs to get added to my list for GTD cars. He will get added. We then have Matt Feely, Michael Platt, Greg Johnston, and Greg Barber, and then yourself, Sinker, just chilling in the session with him. So we'll get Mr. Ganotis in there so he does not feel left out, of course.
Yep. I should have jumped in the car and done this broadcast from the car.
Oh, that would have ended poorly, surely.
It would have been very poor. It would have been VR, so it'd have been everyone want to get dizzy because it'd be all the spinning and everything like that. Yeah, nah, not recommended. All right, we've got 1 minute to grid. Well, 2 minutes to grid. That's probably got a 3-minute timer. Can you please? I was going to say, can you please get off the fog?
I just want to show what we got. You know, show off what we got on offer. There, look at that. You can't even see the start grid. Like that's how foggy it is.
Here we go. Here are all the boys. Good to have everyone out. But Saturday night, thank you very much to all the drivers tonight who have attended. It's been sensational, a lot of fun for me and Hamish, and it's a lot of guys coming out and track for just a bit of a squirt, which is awesome. And Hamish,
yep,
we've stayed well over 20 viewers for the whole 3 hours.
It's been very, very good. Adam Hughes saying dramas. Well, we'll have to. Is it
Hughesy,
raining
why
already?
are you on track?
It's not raining just yet.
Hang on. Stefan McCartan says that's light fog, so it's going to be heavy fog to come.
That light fog? hang on, just for a second.
We're going to be broadcasting white noise.
I was going to say, how is this light fog? Like
that's
we
white
can
noise.
barely
Everyone
see
go to
through it.
sleep. It's like
Hughesy just finished ANZ. Safety car will pull away though. He missed Reggio by 1 minute. Oh, we should have pushed it back by 5 minutes. Oh no.
Oh well.
But Jake Edwards will lead them away here for lap number 1 of this race. It's going to be on for young and old out there. A little bit of bragging rights on offer, but also just a bit of learning for us here. Because Iracing says so. Yes. It's so rude of Iracing. We should have done it. So it was an hour and 5 minute session, and qualifying was maybe 25 minutes, maybe, or an extra 5 minutes of practice. I don't know.
Well, the boys are all lined up. So we've got the GT, the prototypes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 5 of them, which is a shame. The rest would have been the fishy boys.
But then we've got a fair few of the GT class boys out there in the back. So they will also give us a bit of fun. Look at them all lining up. What have we got? I've got a combination of AMGs. What's that second one? I can't see.
Couple of Fezzes, some Porsches, one
Brezza.
Audi out there. No BMWs though. I think Barb's is actually in there as race control probably. He's actually not out on track. But we've got 5 GTPs as we mentioned, and we've got 8 GTD cars. So still not a bad field here tonight. Could have been worse. Could have had only 1 GTP and like 2 GT cars. So it's not too bad. And at the end of the day, these drivers are going to have the advantage going forward, because if we have rain at any point this season for IMSA, well, these guys have now got experience in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be spectacular. I'm not sure how either of these cars are going to handle how Iracing has done the has done the setups for it. It's going to be very interesting to see. Again, for us, this is a first. You guys might have already had test drives and stuff like that, but as a broadcast, this is our first. They're going green.
They are indeed, and they break their way through the fog for the first time. Up through turn 1 we come. We're still dry running. No rain just yet here at Le Mans. But we could be on. Oh, but Ferguson's run it wide again down at turn 2. Missed his brake marker, and that's going to be it. We got the GTDs. They're not quite at the start line yet. We'll come back to them as we come up towards the Mulsanne Straight for the first time here tonight out at Le Mans. It's Edwards to Dodds to Ferguson to McAvoy to Tomlin. I think McAvoy might actually have a slowdown as the GTDs make their way through the chicanes to start their race here tonight. 45 minutes of running. Who's going to get the jump early on? It's Nixon, back to Clifton, back to Shotter. And then Daly, Feely, Ganotis, Platt, Johnston make up the rest of the grid. A little bit of weaving in the background, not too bad. As we make our way through, Ferguson's already made his way up into P2 in the GTP class as they come through turn 1 and 2 for the first time. Looking fairly clean here. Edwards, though, has already built up an incredible gap in the GTPs, and these guys are racing nice and tight out on track. Here as they come down the Mulsanne Straight to the second of the Mulsanne chicanes.
All these drivers in the GTPs were accomplished GTP drivers, so I reckon they'll stay pretty close all race.
Well, you say that, but Tyson McAvoy's out there. So, and Dodsey normally races in the GT car, but well, at least he has got the sports car experience.
Yes, it's true.
Although McAvoy's showing him up by being in P2 at the moment, so the boys need to get a bit of a wriggle on.
Looking good.
Off the back of Tyson McAvoy's car at the moment. Performance Sim Racing entry. Got Tomlin in behind in an LCR car. Then it's Ferguson for Velocity Racing
got a good
team.
Exit. Got a very good exit.
And then it's Dodds for Frog Leap making up the back of this little field here. For the GTDs, we've got a nice little battle happening here for Daly and Shotter. Fog was a bad choice, I must say. We can hardly see any of the action out there.
It's all right, and it all adds up to it. I think Fog might give Fog a bit of a skip next time. But it's all part of the test, mate. You got to do what you got to do and test it all out. Even the fog, I mean, it's not that bad. You can still see the guys. And who's that? Jake Edwards. Is that a bit of a spin?
He's had an incident. That's now going to move McAvoy up into P1. So he's come up here to turn up towards the Porsche curves. Up through Indianapolis. Oh, and that's just, he's caught the curb on the outside, and that's just spun him round. Good job to hold brakes from him there. And McAvoy now leads the way. Who'd have thunk it? You know, who would have thought that...
He wouldn't have thought it.
Oh, he
that's
wouldn't
for
have.
sure.
He wouldn't have. That is definitely right.
The PSR boy is doing okay. Maybe he just needs a little bit of Dutch courage when he goes out there and races.
Maybe he just needs to race on a Friday. Maybe that's his
Today's
issue.
Saturday.
Maybe he needs to not race on Sunday and race on Friday.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Let's come up through turn number 1 once again. Start of lap 2. That's McAvoy to Ferguson to Dodds to Tomlin to Edwards. That's the GTP running. Then down in GTD land, it's Nixon to Daly, to Clifton, to Shotter, to Feely, to Ganotis, to Johnson, to Platt. Barber did not start the race, as I think he's in there as a race controller. So Nixon just starting to spread the wings a little bit and fly away. Haven't seen a safety car yet, Sinker. So,
all right. What's going on?
Oh, I think the boys just don't want to have a crash.
Oh. What's the prediction, man? 10-minute mark, Wayne?
I want to say 15. Now, it's pretty heavy fog. Without being able to bring up the weather radar, obviously, I can't really give you an option off the back of that one.
That would be pretty cool if they did that.
I think SDK need that. We're going to have to put a thing in and be like, oi, add a radar, please. All they got to do is just have it run off the iRacing radar. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe we'll have to see if Race Labs offer it and we can run that as well at some point. Edwards is now on the back of Tyson McAvoy. McAvoy's actually lost the lead of the GTP class.
Did he spin or something? There's three places he dropped.
No, I think they just had the pace over him. Yeah, I think they just had the pace over him through the chicane. They've caught him back up, and then this is how the move happened with Ferguson. So that was how that all worked out here tonight. So McAvoy's now back at P3. Big dive on Dodds, and there's contact. Oh, no. McAvoy might be getting a bit of a drive-through, I think. Yeah, Dodds has called it out. If Stefan doesn't give him a drive-through, there might be some race control favoritism happening here tonight.
No, there'll be. We make sure we hire all race control that hate each other so that they don't give each other favoritism.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Oh, I think Janota said he heard thunder.
Oh, did he indeed?
Yeah.
Behind
That'd be funny.
Matt Feely at the
That'd
moment.
be funny if there was thunder, eh?
You know what? I don't know if they actually have it in play yet, but if we started to see lightning strikes and then the rain comes, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't think they've done that yet. But
Question is, as doing our due diligence, would we ask drivers to get off the track while there's thunder?
No, I think if we wanted to, you know what? Actually, I'm going to give into the meme for a second.
So what happens is, if your car gets hit by thunder, if you're driving with haptic devices, those devices just rumble the shit out of you. Here we go. Look at this. The bit of.
See a little bit of argy-bargy between them at the moment.
They're being told to. So the boys, we've got, just so you don't know out there, guys, we do have RC out there. So they're not letting the chitter-chatter go. Dodsy said something and he's giving him a warning to shush up. Tyson is going in pit lane. I'm assuming he's had a drive-through. Or is that for damage?
Sinker, I've just seen something that's happening. The people at home will absolutely love this when it comes up. You may not love it so much, but I've just seen some. I think there might be some lightning out on track at the moment. I've just seen it happen. There it is, right there. There's our lightning on track. Oh my god! So there is lightning on track out there.
Oh, Delaney's not racing tonight.
No, he's not.
That's
the young
his
guppy.
livery in the 86.
I know. Oh, then he changed it the other day. He changed the livery the other day. So, yeah, lightning has struck the track here. We're waiting for the rain to come in. McAvoy's over the radio. What's he saying? He's been in the lane. Has he done a drive-through?
Yep.
Ah, I see. So he's not exempt from. Jack was saying ka-chow.
That
was. Yeah. I knew Jack would appreciate it.
Mate, I've watched that show. And I won't even mention it how many times. He's also got Lightning McQueen and another one called On the Road. with Mater, and my boy makes me watch it all the time.
I love the Cars film. It's phenomenal.
He loves it.
One of the best Pixar films to come out of my generation, I think. It's very underrated.
Well, there's, number 4's coming out soon, and it's a lot more lifelike sort of animation. They're taking the animation to the next level again. So that's coming out not too long. I saw a chat about it out there in the world, and I told my boy, he's like, oh. So he's stoked.
Yeah, I think.
I think even the wife was happy.
Yeah, I think it is it's one of Pixar's biggest money-making series, just based on the toy sales and the merchandise and everything. Like it is so.
It's actually one of the most successful franchises out there.
Oh yeah, and it's so good.
Not just in on streaming, in box office, but also merchandise, games, everything. It's done everything. It's it's their biggest money maker at the moment.
I still remember first playing the original Cars game on the PS2 here in Real Gone, and I'm trying to think what the other song was called now. I know what it is as well. I've got it playing in my head. I can't exactly remember what it is, but it was so much fun as a young kid playing that sort of stuff. I was the right demographic for it. 8 years old when it came out, just to make you feel old, Sinker. 19 years or 18 years later, we're here. We're calling the action. Ferguson not quite ready to come in the pitch yet. No rain as we stand. We're 10 minutes in, Sinker, so it looks like your prediction was wrong.
There were the GTP boys going. GTD boys going.
So Nixon leading the way at the moment. 11 seconds is the gap. So it just shows that he would be quite dominant if he was. Nah, not all day, all night. It was. No, I know what it is as well. I'm just going to bring up my Spotify. I'm not going to play it. I just want to search for it because I know what it is. And I've actually got it in one of my playlists. But no, I think. Yeah, Free Ride, that's it. It was Free Ride. Yeah, very good song. That's the song I remember from that one. McAvoy is into the lane. Oh, rain is here. So it has started. So, unfortunately for Ferguson, although it's not raining at this portion of the circuit yet.
No, but he's on his way on the back end now.
Yeah, so the rain might be starting to roll in. Edwards has stayed out. So is Dodds and so is Tomlin. So McAvoy's coming because it's raining on the main straight. But it's not raining at the down up towards the Porsche curves just yet.
Yep. Here he is. He's going to go up on jacks and put his wets on.
Oh, you'd have to. Just rolls it into the box. Or has he maybe got to stop and hold? No, he's just pulled up way too early for the pit box. That's what it is.
That's right.
So here's the rain now. The rain's actually, it's down the back straight. There's a little bit of rain here. I think maybe down the Mulsanne. Outside the car. There's no rain droplets on the windscreen just yet.
That'll be interesting to see. Oh, here it is. Now they're coming.
Yep, there is rain on track, so Ferguson's going to have to come in this lap. I doubt he's going to be able to survive out there for much longer on those dry tyres. So could this be the master stroke that McAvoy needed? Although, as I say that, he spun it round at turn 1.
Has he come out on wets?
He's come out on wets. I can't even check because he's not open wheeler. I would hope he's come out on wets.
They got a white. They got a white or lilac colour on the edges.
If we look on Ferguson's car,
Ferguson's car got.
It looks about the same because it's the Michelin logo.
Yes, maybe he hasn't changed
tyres. Stefan's saying he's on wets.
He is on wets.
Yeah, I have seen some people driving around here on wets, even in these cars. It is a struggle because of how much power they have.
So why? See, this is the thing with iRacing. If it's an open wheeler, you can't see it. It's closed, enclosed. They should have changed the colour of the rim, of the tyre to a different colour, so you can designate it as wet. Because they still don't have it in their app. Obviously, it'll be in the app at some point.
Ferguson's already struggling. He's had a moment. At the entry up towards the Porsche curves.
He's smoking.
No, it's up through here into Indy, and he's just run it wide. I was not unable to pull it up. So he's going to have to just try and keep it clean through the Porsche curves. He'll use that fast repair on this pit stop after having contact with the wall. But it's time to be nice and clean through the forward curves now, past the Porsches.
Look, all the GTs they're all in.
Yep, Nixon's been in, so they were. I think it's actually it's given them a benefit here because they're a little bit further around. Yeah, GTP on wets is a mission to drive. They struggle to get tyre temps. Yeah, they do. So it's yeah, you know, even though like the SF24 and the GR86 looked fine on wets, these cars are a handful because they're so quick. So it's like you're always struggling to find grip, and obviously you want to try and run that go-kart line. Well, it's hard to run that around here. But top four are now in. Where's McAvoy? He is coming up towards Indy at the moment. Coming up towards the Audi Sport Corner and Indy, and then he'll head up towards the Porsche curve. So I think that little spin actually hindered him a little bit in trying to get any advantage on these wet tyres.
Whoa. Well, Stefan in chat says that the GTP on wets is a mission to drive.
Yeah, and you see that there. He's just... He couldn't even pull it up. The problem with that corner, that little section there of the Audi corner and the Indianapolis, is you've got to run it out onto the curb to get the car around the corner. But you want to try and stay off the curbs because once the curbs are wet, they are impossible to drive on. It's like an ice rink.
Like that, just that little pinch up there.
Yeah, so we're going to see this, how Edwards is actually going to give us a good example of how you're actually going to need to drive through Indy, although he's just spun it at turn 4.
Oh, he got hooked.
He did indeed. Needs to be careful on the rejoin. Here comes Ferguson.
Just got out of the way.
Oh, it's going to be so hard for them to do it. If we get a safety car now,
so if he's got damage, he's screwed.
If we get a safety car sinker, it's going to be hard for them to actually contain the temp in the tyres. And once they're cold, they're going to just have absolutely no grip. It's going to be like being on an ice rink out there. So this is now where the questions and the kind of strategies come into play for some of these drivers of how they can best benefit off the back of this as well. So
Nortis is all over the back of Clifton at the moment. So he's putting a lot of pressure on him at the moment. He's like 0.2, 0.3, 3/10, 2/10.
And look at the spray.
Oh, look at that. How hard is that to see?
On our little dash cam here in the Ferrari, in the Porsche, sorry, Porsche 992. In behind the Ferrari 296. They make their way up.
That's terrible, isn't it?
It is. You cannot see it.
You can't even put the brakes or anything.
Cannot see a thing. So if you thought the F3s were bad, it's even worse in these cars. They pull up so much water and so much spray. What would have been interesting, Sinker, is if like the Iracing Formula 1 car, like the V10 like 2022 model car that they did, the Dallara. Yep. How much spray that would actually create.
Oh yeah.
Like it would throw it up. McAvoy's had a crash as well on the entry into the Mulsanne. Well, maybe a bit of both. Or he ran it way wide onto the entry to the Mulsanne.
Oh, he's kept it off the wall. No, he's just touched the wall. Might have been lucky there.
And Nixon's up at the Porsche curves into the Ford
he's just
corners.
Barely held that. He
was very lucky.
Too hot, didn't he? He came in way too hot.
And this makes me super excited, Sinker, to see the top split of iRacing official Sebring 12-hour in a couple of weeks. Because if it's in the rain...
Surely they're going to have rain in it.
Oh, surely. Like, it's going to be absolutely insane to see. Yeah. Tomlin's also had an incident here as well. Yeah, that's good. Mr. Iceman saying apparently iRacing is looking into the fact you can't see brake lights and rain light. Yeah, which I think they have to. Like it is that you cannot see. You can't see when someone's braking. They're going to be like you in the F3 Sinker of like, well, where do I brake? Because I don't know when they're going to be braking. I can't see the rain light. Like, where are they? Yeah, wait. Use them as a brake.
Yeah, feel the impact and brake.
That was lucky.
I tell you what, everyone is having incidents. That's Ferguson, who was in the lead. He's gone off at the exit at the end of the Mulsanne, it seems. So now, actually, no, it's at the Porsche curves. He's gone off at the Porsche curves, and now Jake Edwards takes the lead.
Rippling in the back end.
There is no grip.
No grip.
Absolutely no grip for them. And we're only halfway through this. We're not even halfway through the session, Sinker.
Christ almighty. What's it look like from the inside of his car? You get helmet view?
We can. We can get the old cockpit view. We don't normally use it in these cars, but...
So the rain is on the windscreen, but it's not really making it hard to see. I wonder if VR's a little bit different. It'll be interesting. I'll have to go for a spin.
It's a big slide. He's caught the curb.
Out of nowhere.
He's done it at the same corner that he did it earlier on when he first came out of the pits. This could now give Ferguson and Dodds. Oh, but Doddsy's lost it too, and they're all just starting to go off there at turn 4.
Who's in that Porsche?
In behind is, I think, Matt Feely.
Tell you what, Feely's doing well. He's keeping up with the car in front of him.
I think that comes down to the fact of the lack of grip that the GTP has. He'll leave him behind down the straight, but in the corners, the GTPs are just really struggling for that grip and finding that alternate line that is going to give them any sort of semblance of grip throughout the corners. Look at that, the little wiggle under brakes. Oh, it is absolute hell out there for these drivers. Such tough conditions.
Where's Greg Johnson going? How is he doing back there?
Mr. Johnson in the one Audi is just coming down the Mulsanne now.
Right, he destroyed it before.
He comes on through. Needs to be careful of running that regular line. In the red energy entry, Audi R8 Evo 2.
He's sitting in 7th place, not too bad.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Mr. Nixon has now gotten back past Travis Daly for the lead of this race. So both bring it into Indianapolis.
Side by side.
Michael Platt saying this is fun as he's on track. Do we like mustard on our hot dogs? Apparently, Jack was just trying to get us more food chats to chat about. I tell you what, I love about as much mustard apparently as there's water on this track. No, I like a little bit of mustard with a little bit of ketchup on there. It's a good time. Yeah, Michael Platt getting into the chat for us here whilst he's driving.
Connor Nixon on the back there, you just saw him go off a little bit. He's actually running one on the wing, in the rear wing, so that's why he's having a problem with the rear end a bit.
That's why he was good in qualifying, but struggling in this race.
Yeah. And who was that just spinning around?
That was Mr. Platt, Michael Platt, who is currently watching us and getting into the chat whilst he drives around the track. Yeah, and I guess that's another thing that's actually going to be quite interesting.
Nixon's taking liberty of boundaries there, and he's just
big old curve
he'll have
strike
to slow down for that, I think.
I will. Doddsy's had a spin. That was the corner he actually. That was the corner he actually got taken out when he hit the wall in the actual Le Mans round in his Merc on lap 1 of IMSA earlier this season, and was out.
The GTD car giving him a run for his money through the wet.
Yeah. McAvoy's in the lane again. Oh, that's big damage on McAvoy's car.
I actually thought he was going in backwards then.
What's he done to cause this? What's he? Oh, he's already heard it at this point.
Yeah, he's got a rhinoplasty.
I reckon this might be it here. Through the first Mulsanne chicane. Oh, yep. Lost it there. Backs it into the wall. Oh, no, just missed it.
Dirty tyres. He's probably destroyed it after that.
Where's he lost the nose?
It's just coming up now.
Michael's doing it all, apparently.
He's pushed it hard.
I want to sit with him here because I want to see how he's done this. Oh, that's how he's done it there. His steering's broken, I reckon. Or he's taken his eyes off the road, and that's just destroyed it.
It's just pieces everywhere. Looks like he's opening up a Sunday market and putting panels out for sale.
He is not having a fun time. Should we drag him in?
No. I don't want to hear him.
You don't want to hear him?
No.
Why not?
He'll be going off his head.
We've got Connor Nixon in the green room, actually. We could chat to Connor, who's out there. He is in the green
Connor
room.
in a bit of he's used to having a chin wag.
Yeah. Mr. Nixon, we've just dragged you in because we saw you in the green room. How are the conditions at the moment?
Wet, very wet.
Oh.
Yeah, I've picked the wrong setup. Let's just say that. I was like, I should be all right with 2 wing.
Yeah,
but I forgot.
We noticed that before, that you had about one or two wing on the car, and yeah, it's raining sideways apparently.
Yeah, basically turned off the traction control and just turned it into a supercar, so I'm using my right foot and the brakes at the moment. I thought I was pretty good in the rain, but I've been practicing with a Porsche with Brad Newman and Luke Rosella, so I was pretty good at that. But yeah, the Merc's a different beast. Like, the thing just slides from the start to the end of the corner, so I'm just trying to find every bit of grip right now.
I think like you and everyone else is trying to find it too. How was the changeover period for you guys between the dry and then into the wet?
The car, or?
Oh, just trying to determine, you know, it was kind of straightforward on our end, it seemed, when it was time to come in. But how was, obviously, because it kind of started raining prior to the end of your lap, so you would have been on dries. So.
Yeah, it was not too bad. I noticed like the third last corner, the car just had a big slide and just had no drive, and I was like, yep, just come in now. Like, I'm just gonna stay out a bit more. But yeah, just tiptoeing at the moment, really.
We can see you coming into the Audi Sport corner. Obviously, you want to normally run out onto the curb. How is it trying to manage keeping off the curbs through there with that kind of one, you know, really, really good line through that corner?
It's quite weird because there's actually huge puddles in those divot bits. The puddles are basically just Olympic pools at this point. So it's you're basically just going around the outside of everything. Like up here, there's a big puddle. So I'm just gonna go on this dry line for a sec and I'll show you. So then I'll go to the outside here. Try and get that outside lane. Now try back over to this line. Drive it on the exit. Just try and miss all those puddles. Brake quite a bit. Drive on the outside, miss that puddle. Try and correct the car. And then put the foot down on the exit. But that Porsche's got really good at, it's very good in the wet. It's not very, it's got no flaws. So, I was talking to Aaron the other night, and apparently I've got rough riding.
Nice bit of track extension there, mate. Well, we won't take up too much more of your time. Best of luck in the rest of this race, and best of luck dealing with this weather as well, man, because it's looking like you're going to need an umbrella, possibly even maybe it's looking almost like monsoon weather at this point, but hopefully
it feels like it.
Hopefully you boys can keep it on the track.
All right.
Yeah,
hold on to your floaties, mate.
Thanks, mate. Oh.
It looks like it's getting wetter.
Yeah.
Rain is getting thicker.
I don't think there's any doubts about that at the moment.
It's definitely getting thicker. Have a look at it.
The fog's definitely died down.
Fog has died down. Generally when it's really raining and fog down. But look at this four-way battle here. Who have we got? We've got
Nixon,
Shotter, Daly, and Gonodis.
Yeah. And Shotter wants it up the inside at the moment.
Here we go. Shotter's having a good attempt here. He's done it. He's done it, but it's not over. Because look at the way these guys are battling behind each other in the wet. It's awesome. Pretty stoked, man. I'm glad we did this. I hope everyone out there is enjoying it. We've still got a lot of viewers out there that stayed with us for the whole 3 hours, which is amazing. And just let us know your feedback. Let us know what you think. You know, something you would want to see, something you've noticed that we might not have noticed. But yeah, awesome.
I think
And
think
while we've
Jordan
got-
Ferguson's
Oh, what is
PC
this?
has crashed as well, so he's unfortunately out of the race. So we're down to 3 GTP cars, and 2 of them are still on the lead lap. Them being Jake Edwards and Chris Tomlin at the moment.
Yep. The GTDs are giving us a great bit of battle here, though. A lot of viewing, 3 wide, or sort of 3 wide, tucking in behind each other. Oh, changing across. Will they make the next apex? Connor's got the best line out of these guys. Oh, he's tucked his nose in. Oh, lucky he's nice. He was nice and clear there. I thought there might have been a bit of overlap. Would have been a bit of problem for the Lambo.
There's no Lambo out there, Simcar. It's the
sorry.
Fez.
Yeah. Was he past him or not?
They're
No,
too
not
wide
yet.
at the moment. It's a drag race.
Yeah. Great little drag. I wouldn't want to be up with the 2 Porsches behind him. It'd be pretty hard to see.
Michael's saying he needs a towel. Well, luckily he's not off the back of that battle. Actually, I mean, it's kind of Alexander Ganotis who's getting
again.
all the spray at the moment.
Geez, they're not giving up, these 2. Daly and Nixon are putting in a lot of effort here.
You can't even see the battle at hand. Like
No.
there's that much spray.
You really need to stick sort of just off their line to see what's going on. Look, a special thanks to Warren and Brown, to Shannon's Insurance, to Shunt Scenery, DSL Rail Services, Neuropower, Grib Industries. Who did I forget, mate?
Motorsport
Brown.
Australia, Shannon's Insurance. Oh, that was a big off there in the background for Daly as well, down at the Audi corner.
Yep.
To just come through Indianapolis.
And just
Showed
everyone
up.
out there that's joined us, from the drivers to the viewers, everyone that's been out there tonight watching us and enjoying us, enjoying the...
Oh, Nixon's gone into the wall!
He's just lost the rear end then coming down the hill. Looked like a bit of washout, and it's just taken him straight into the wall. Looks like he's just left the draft, and the rear end just went. Is it a puddle?
Hang on, I just want to bring it back for a minute here. Let's just check this out.
Looks like he's hit a puddle.
Yeah, there's a puddle right there that he's just hitting and just underway to the car.
Yeah.
Big wipeout for Nixon.
Oh, lucky. Lucky. I don't know how much damage it is to the car, but he's lucky he got back on track and just maintained pace behind him. Whoa.
Oh, Daly's run at wide turn. He's had contact with Ganotis.
Oh, no. Oh, that was unfortunate. That was very unfortunate. Well, at least they can go straight into the pits.
That's true. Ganotis has gone in.
Yeah, he hit what he said in voice. He said, sorry, mate, it's on me. He hit the blue stuff, and the blue stuff just rear end went. It's all gone.
That's saying aquaplaning is no joke. It's really not. It's a real thing, and it is affecting these cars in no doubt. 13 minutes to go of this session, Sinker. 2 GTPs left out on track. And we've got the majority of our GTD field still running as well. Doddsy, McAvoy and Ferguson are all out of contention.
Dodds is in the pits right now. Alexander Ganotis is in the pits, obviously. He's going to fix his car.
I'll tell you what, this makes me wish we could run an endurance race in these types of cars, like maybe a 3 to a 6 hour with differing conditions, maybe around like I'm trying to think what would be a good track for it, other than Le Mans, obviously. Maybe like maybe like an Indianapolis or something, something a bit different.
Do a full 24 hour, mate.
Oh, if you're willing to pay.
Yeah, we need a good sponsor for that. If you're out there and you want to sponsor a 24-hour event, we would be happy to talk to you.
Jacko's saying Nords.
A few broadcasters in the back end and a few of the boys in the RC team. I was just looking. Greg Johnson is the only one left in his room. Everyone's left him.
How rude.
He's all on his lonesome now.
You know what? Let's drag him.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's bring him in.
Yeah, he's probably on his own, just cruising.
Mr.
Johnson. How's it going, mate?
Hello.
How are ya?
I'm going all right.
Are you streaming tonight, mate?
No.
Good. I wasn't going to swear anyway. How is it out there in the rain, mate? Have you had a good night?
I have had a good night. In all races so far.
Yep.
All I'm trying to do tonight with this one is just keep it straight. I've had a couple of goes in the Audi in the wet. One on Nordschleife, which was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And I did some practice on Brands Hatch last night, which I didn't like at all because could not keep this thing on the track on Brands Hatch.
Yep. It's
but around here, yeah.
Anything wet would be very hard. How have you found the rain tonight? Is it just next level fun or next level concentration?
Next level concentration.
So we're really distracting
Certainly
you right
fun.
now.
I'm enjoying it. Hey?
It really distracting you right now?
Nah, not bothering me at all.
All right.
No.
Good. The car looks good, mate. I do like the red energy. Give them a plug, red energy.
Mate, the car looks really good. I'm really happy with the paint scheme on this one.
Yep.
And, yeah, I just want to get some results for it.
Yep. So those of you who don't know, Mr. Greg Johnson, works for Red Energy, and they've let him have Red Energy on the livery. Jono, is there any social stuff on your car? You usually have
yep.
cancer and also
Tourette syndrome.
Tourette
syndrome. This one's the Audi's got the Prostate Cancer Foundation on it as well.
Yep.
So it's normally a blue car, but this season it's predominantly for the Red Energy car, and the prostate cancer stuff is
where do
still
people
there.
go to donate, mate? Tell them where to go.
Yep. Just go to the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, and there's certainly some donation pages on there. And the important thing with prostate cancer, guys, is to regularly get checked. I got diagnosed with prostate cancer at 59, and for no reason, I just thought I'd just keep an eye on my PSA through the regular blood tests. And the doctors picked up that my PSA levels weren't right, and they were up a little bit, and sent me off to the urologist, and sent me off for a biopsy and a few other bits and pieces, and they said, yep, you've got prostate cancer, and the best thing we can do with that is take it out. So it's important to make sure you keep an eye on your health.
Yeah, check.
Well,
I get
certainly get checked.
Off the back of that
I get
as well.
a blood test every probably about twice a year, not just for that, but for everything, just to you get over the hill sometimes, and you don't look after yourself.
It's just a simple blood test, and just ask your GP to tick the box that said PSA test, and away you go.
Well, I think it's a standard now for men, isn't it? When doing a blood test,
if it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not.
Off the back of that as well, especially for men's health as well, as someone who's had a testicular cancer scare before, be sure you also regularly do your self checkups on your little jewels as well, because if one feels off and you want to go get it checked as soon as possible. Luckily, mine was non-cancerous. But yeah, that's another thing as well.
My wife keeps telling me to stop checking. How long do you want to check for? And I'm like, I've got to make sure I do a good job.
Yeah.
That's same as breast cancer, you got to make sure you get check all the lumps. And she's like, well, you've already done that breast.
Tell you what, the second, not the last chicane, the second last one is tricky. There's a couple of real wet spots just as you hit the brakes, and the car just pulls and decides it wants to go wherever it wants to go.
You're doing well, mate. You're sitting in 6th place. That's pretty good. You happy with that?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I've had, like, in the super lights, I was up into P4 for a while.
Yep, saw that.
So I was pretty happy with that. I lost that on my own, which was annoying. And the same in the 86. I had to lose on my own in the 86s. But, got a couple of decent results for the night for first real race in wet. So,
what do you think the Rain's going to do the 86 series next season?
Look, I think we should have some races where it's wet.
Yep.
Not too many of them, but still some.
Yep. Well, the thing is, we were talking about it earlier. We're going to have to be careful which tracks we pick and which part
That's
of the
it.
world we pick, because some parts are always wet.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna UK track, you're gonna be 4 out of 6 races will be wet.
Well, Phillip Island's a typical one, where we raced in the super lights. That's wet all down around there a lot. So and Bathurst is the other one that you get caught with the rain.
Yes. Well, it's going to be spectacular, mate. Look, we'll let you go back into your room. Thanks for coming out and having a bit of fun, mate. We've had a lot of people watching, so you've been entertaining a lot of people, mate.
Right.
For those of you, just a quick reminder, prostate cancer awareness, get on the website, donate. If you're
That's
not
it.
sure, get a hold of Mr. Greg Johnson through Discord if you're one of our members. Also, Tourette's syndromes, and also mental health people while you're out there.
And that's the other thing with it all, mate. With prostate cancer, you go and do the right things, get checked, get surgery, get that all taken care of, and that takes care of the first part of the problem. But then the mental health is a little bit of a kicker as well.
Yeah.
And I know my headspace gets a little bit up and down at times, and certainly doing this is a good thing for me. It's a really great distraction and so much fun. I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever done is jump into iRacing. I've been a petrol head all my life, and I had to go around Sandown and a few other things like that. But to be able to race on tracks around the world without going anywhere, you can't do much better than this, I don't think.
Yeah, it's awesome fun,
Yeah.
and you get to make really good mates, don't you, mate? Even though we've never met each other. I'd count you guys as mates, so it's good fun to.
I've got a couple of my friends that, one of my best mates, or he would be my best mate. He watches my Formula 3 stream and some of the other streams that I've done, and he's complained when you haven't been in there in the Discord chat because I stream the Discord as well. So, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do get entertaining, and I do take the piss out of my brother and the boys, and we have a lot of fun in that room. And one of the most important things as well is when you're racing in this sort of series, it is fun to go into the Discord and our lounge and just have a chat. And we actually race like one big team, help each other out and spot for each other, and but a lot of fun. Listen, mate, we'll let you go. We've had you on for about 5 minutes, and we've had nothing but your Red Energy car on. Red Energy needs to give a pay rise because that car has been on screen for about 5 minutes. All the best,
send a
mate.
link to the boss and get him to have a look at it.
Yeah, 100%. And tell him to sponsor the league. We'll send you back out, mate. I'll see you on. You're not racing Formula V's anymore.
No, I haven't raced the Formula V's at all yet.
No, I'll see you on Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Wednesday night for the F3s, and then Thursday for the 86s, and then Fridays for these.
Yeah. All right, mate. Good luck. We'll chat to you soon. Take care.
Cheers, buddy.
Well, we've had a couple of comments in the chat as well, Sinker, just as we come into the final couple of minutes here. Regarding our possible endurance race, maybe a 6-hour around Spa. Would be pretty cool if we had some changeable conditions there for a longer race with this. And I've seen some drivers come into the pit, so I actually think fuel's actually becoming a factor now as well.
Yeah, they are. Jono's just gone in as well. I've always wanted to do the full Nordschleifer.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to go with rain there. That's the only problem, because we'll get half a track that's rain, half a track that's dry, and we'll have to red flag it because it's unsafe to drive like that.
It'll be just like any other real world racetrack. And if they do it in real world, you'll be able to do it in iRacing.
And then also had a comment as well. Thoughts on a Rain Masters series? Cycle through different cars and tracks every week with guaranteed rain at some point in the race.
Yeah, that's not a bad concept to try, but also just like anything else that's new, it becomes boring after a while. It's good while it's hot. You know what people are like when the electric electric Porsche came out. Was it a Porsche that came out? Which one was it?
Yeah, the Porsche Mission R.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, this is cool," and I don't even think I've seen anyone race it.
Well, even like the TCRs now. Obviously, the big news into iRacing currently. we're now getting an official TCR series in iRacing, and we're getting majority of the manufacturers put in, and they will get new. They've gotten new tags put on the cars to be like actually like the official TCR sim. So maybe TCRs make a return at some point once we get some more manufacturers into iRacing and stuff as well.
It's definitely something we'll be looking at. So where are we at? Where is everyone at? We lost a bit of...
44 minutes into the 45-minute race. This is the final lap. Jake Edwards is coming up towards the Audi curve into Indianapolis. So he's only got about 2 more sectors to go around this circuit until he catches the checkered flag. He's the only GTP left out on track. Everyone else is out of the race, which with conditions like this, it is understandable. Obviously, tonight was not worth anything other than bragging rights at the end of the day, as Jake's gone a little bit wide. So he just wants to try and catch the checkered flag. Nixon is leading Platt by 50-odd seconds at the moment in the GTDs. He's in P1, so he looks to have that locked down. Then it's Platt P2, Clifton P3, Daly P4, Shotter in P5, Feely in P6, Johnson in P7, and then Ganotis is out of proceedings at this stage in time. So nearly over. It's been an incredible night to check out this rain, see what changeable conditions can be like, of course. Had a good chat across the previous 3 hours whilst we've been live. It's nearly actually 3.5 hours at this point, but yeah, it's been really, really good, and it's been fun to see all these different types of cars that we will put rain onto for next season. Have rain here tonight and get a little bit of a preview. Chop saying, yeah, whack the wall coming onto the straight. Yeah, so it's tough. It is really, really tough. Jackals has also signed up for the 8.6s, so maybe we'll see him out on track this Thursday night out at Phillip Island. So, but Edwards is going to come round. He is going to cross the start-finish line for the final time here tonight to take victory out at Le Mans. Actually, there's no white flag. There's no checkered flag just yet. Has he got an extra lap?
I think there's an extra lap, mate.
Yeah.
I haven't seen race control. Can you give us an update, because we can't see it from our end?
There's no checkered flag that's come out, so I actually think he's got an extra lap.
Barney, or in this part of the world, isn't it Bunny?
Yeah, Bunny.
Any Bunny?
No Bunny.
No Bunny coming out.
No Jean-Pierre Bunny out on the flagpole.
So there could be one more lap.
I think there might be. It is a long lap, but that's fine. We get to talk about it for a second.
Oh, well, that might be...
This is now the last lap. This is now the last lap. So,
where was Barney? What? He's just scared to get wet.
Yeah, he's in his little bunker, I reckon. He's in the catacombs underneath the track. He doesn't want to get wet. But obviously, coming up towards the end of the season, Cinco, we'll quickly chat about this as we come to an end here tonight. So, rest of round 6 this weekend. Obviously, the supercars are out at Motegi tomorrow night. Should be an awesome race.
Oh yeah, that is. You cannot. People
can't.
Out here, there's 18 people watching. Tell at least 3 friends, and tell them to tell 3 friends to come and watch it. Because I tell you what, based on Tuesday night's race, this is going to be one of the best races of the year.
All you've got to do is go to Tuesday's broadcast, find race 2 of that night, and watch it back before tomorrow night's broadcast, and you'll see what we mean by why it is must-see. Sim racing action tomorrow night. It's absolutely must.
It was an epic race. Epic race. So yeah, 17 people tells 3 people.
Yeah.
3 people tell those 3 people. Pyramid program.
That's over 100 people as Jake's gone off here on his final lap at the second Mulsanne chicane. So then it's Formula V's Monday night Summit Point, the Jefferson circuit. So the shorter layout of that circuit. That should be very interesting to see the little matchboxes made in heaven go around there. Then for supercars this week, we've got Hockenheim coming up, which should be very interesting. Next week, after that, we have sprint round action at Magny Cours for the supercars as well. And then in our final round, we get to our enduro race out at Sebring. So that'll be a big broadcast night on both Tuesday and Sunday. It'll be 300 Ks of Sebring plus our top 10 shootout. So it'll be a big night of racing for those guys. Big enduro action, so we'll get top 10 shootout action, we'll get qualifying happening. Going to be very, very good for us to check all that action out.
Greg Johnson pitted a lap earlier. Everyone else has pitted out for him. If he's close enough, I'm not sure how far away he is.
He's 53 seconds off the back of Mick Clifton, so might be a bit too far away.
Maybe a bit far away to get a podium.
For F3s, we've got Okayama this week, super sprint action. That should be absolutely great. Our only super sprint round of the season, 3 20-minute heat races in F3s should be absolutely awesome. Then the week after, we have sprint action out at Phillip Island, which should be absolutely phenomenal. Got a little bit of an example of that here tonight, but there won't be any rain for that F3 round. And then Mugello to round out the season. We know how good that was in the supercars. Open wheelers, it's going to be even better to farewell the current Dallara Formula 3 car. Oh, it's massive.
It looks like the rain's even gotten bigger.
I think it has.
It's huge.
I think it has. Up through the Porsche curves, Jake Edwards is coming. So he's not got long to go in this lap. For the 8.6s for the rest of the season, we have Phillip Island this week. Of course, they run the super sprint format throughout the whole season, so 3 20-minute sprints around Phillip Island. Round 8 will then be out at Fuji at the GP circuit. That should be absolutely incredible. Then rounding out their season at Magny Core in a couple of weeks' time. IMSA, big end of the season coming. We go to the Nordschleife this coming Friday night, then into Sebring, and then into Spa to round out the season. Should be absolutely epic. Of course, we already mentioned the supercars as Jake Edwards comes round to finish the race here tonight to cop the checkered flag and across the finish line. Jake Edwards takes out victory here tonight. The only GTP left on the field and playing out there. Connor Nixon, he's still got a bit of track to go before he crosses the line to take victory in his class. We'll quickly run you through the rest of the Formula V season. We've got Lime Rock for round 7, then to Charlotte, and then out at Scuba Circuit to round out the season. Back into Japan. We haven't been there since Okayama, round number 1. So a massive season still to come, Sinker, for the next 3 rounds of racing. It's going to be absolutely epic. Have we got any little crumb of information that we can give drivers for season 2 of 2024 just yet?
No.
Oh.
No, not yet. Not yet. All I'm going to suggest is that if you want to be involved in season 2, I would get in and register now, because the drivers that have got the 12-month membership are going to get priority into the series, and they fill up very quickly. We're streamlining it a bit more again, because there goes Connor Nixon coming across the line to take the promotional night for the what do we call it? Super Soaker.
Yeah, Super Soaker Saturday for the GTD class out at IMSA here for Le Mans.
Yeah. Great effort there by Nixon to get across there.
Sinker, are we possibly going to see some bacon racing coming in season 2?
There's a lot of things that depend on that. It has to fall in our budgets.
Yep.
Budgets are tight. We are growing very fast, so it makes budgets very tight. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, if you want to race next season, you got to get in early. Guys who've got the 12-month subscription will be a priority, because they get to race everything all year. Then you'll have your series subscriptions as well, and they'll sell out. We haven't advertised a season for the last 2 seasons, and we've sold them before releasing them. So definitely get in there, get in our Discord, register as a driver, so you know what's going on, and get in there early.
We have got Mr. Nixon in the green room. We'll drag him in again just quickly here. Connor, we were just kind of chatting about season 2 going forward, but we'll chat to you just about that race, or I guess we'll call it that that triathlon almost of trying to survive this thing. We saw you aquaplane out up towards the Porsche curves and then into the wall. Puddles are not your friend around here, are they?
Oh, it seems like it. It was just chaos. Like, yeah, I don't know how people are going to go around here just in normal at Le Mans. I think that's why when we see on the TV people struggling so much, because there's just puddles everywhere. Like, you really can't escape from it. It's, you know, puddle there, you know, you just can't do anything about it. You're pretty much either going to drive through the puddles, or you're going to have to zigzag your way through. And yeah, it was tough. Like, that's an understatement. I think for the boys that are doing the IMSA Shadow series, I think it's going to be hard for them. I can't see it being easy. I know Ben's highly good in the wet in real life. He's done a lot of real life driving, and Lewis is very competent. I'm sure they're different, they're different tracks, but Nürburg's not an easy track. I did drive around there recently. It was easier than Le Mans by far. So,
do you think your setup was too low?
I think it was just low wing, and yeah, it was probably a little bit too low and too much rake. So the rake pitches the car.
Yeah.
So it was probably just all three of them. Those boys, to be honest, I normally they wouldn't keep up, but they just, with my car being an absolute dog, it was just wasn't fun at all. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun, but it's just another challenge that you just got to undertake now in iRacing now. Like you can't really be good at, dry and be good in the wet now. You can see that, like, if the setup's not adequate to drive in the rain, you're pretty much just sliding and doing 360s and smashing
Well,
into a few
where do you
barriers.
think it's going to take setups to? Is it going to take? Look, obviously, if it's dynamic and we're racing in the UK, hypothetically, that this time of year there's 50% chance of rain. Are the boys going to set their cars up for dry racing, or are they going to have to set it up for intermediate and gamble? Is this a new thing that's going to come into iRacing where people are going to have to play with setups and get something that's going to be able to handle the wet and the dry?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's I think right now a lot of people will just be going, right, what can we do? Like my team's the exact same. We're going into Sebring 12 hour, and we're doing Logitech as well. So that's fine with Logitech because V8s don't have rain. But for all the 12-hour guys, including myself, O'Reilly, and all the guys you've seen in SRW, it's going to be hard because it's not going to be a good and go anymore. It's more go, right, do we need to tinker with it, or do we just smack a heap of downforce under? Because I think it would be more of a downforce thing, because driving in that, like, I just had nothing, and you could see the Porsche just drive right past me, and I'm like, I can't do anything about it, but I get on the straight and I put my foot down and I'm gone. So
if you're hitting puddles, a high rake also is going to give you problems as well, no matter what your downforce is.
Correct.
So it's gonna be slight change of maybe if you're used to a pointy car for high rake, what's the opposite going to give you? What's something with a little bit less nose? Is it going to be adapted driving style as well?
I think it's going to be like my driving style. I don't know if you guys watched on board of my driving, but I was wheeling that car. I normally wheel cars in general. If you watch any of my V8 onboards on my Facebook, I'm pretty much tipping the car in and just praying to get grip on the rear, which most of the time I do. But it's thankful that CN Doc Shop's good at what I do. So I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know how to answer it really. I think it's gonna be
bit of trial and error.
Pretty much. I think when it comes to V8, I think there's going to be a lot of different teams that bloom and a lot of teams that might sink for a bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna change the horizon of iRacing across the world. There's going to be people who didn't know they were good in the wet are going to realize they're going to knack for it. And it's like we said, setups, driving styles. It's going to affect everything, and it's just a whole new dimension, which is awesome, which is really good.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's bringing a different level to it. I know with Ben's series at ANZ, he's going to have to deal with putting rain in servers, and same as you guys. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think it's going to be for a league perspective, are people who are going to enjoy it, or are they really going to hate it? Because in that situation, I kind of thought in my head I shouldn't be this slow, but I had to go on my brain go, these guys have got Porsches. They've probably got a little bit more downforce. The set's probably a little bit more suited than mine. So it's for drivers. I think it's going to be like, okay, we can't just grid and go. Like I said, I think it's going to be a
you got to be smart about it a bit more tactical in the driving style. Everything is it's a whole new level, man. It's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I think it's going to give the viewers a lot more of a storyline and scope to watch. And I guess it's going to leave the guys who are going to be like your team of millions, who are right into, your setups and everything like that. These teams that take time to analyze tracks, and the next level is going to be analyze tracks and weather conditions. These teams are going to be the ones that strive forward. People who are a bit more casual about it are going to really struggle.
Yeah, I do agree with that, because if I had a setup that was a little bit, if I spent any time adapting the car, I think I probably would have just driven off in the distance. I gapped, with that set and a dry, it was I pulled 14 second, and stuff like that. But 100%. I think guys that are casual, I saw the F3 race, they were just sliding from the start of the corner to the end of the corner.
Yeah.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Well, look, mate, thanks for your insight. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All good.
Good luck for the rest of the season and everything you're doing, mate. I know you've had some really good championships in the last 6 months. I hope it all continues for you. And
Appreciate it, mate.
we'll see you out on track again soon. And good luck. Thanks for coming out and showing the boys how it's done.
Appreciate it. I'm going to go and eat my kebab Dad's made, so I'll be back. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate. Take care. See ya.
Well, Sinker, that will bring an end to our nice little special Super Soaker Saturday. A nice little preview into the wet. A little bit of a preview into Season 2 by getting the SF24 out on track. It was a good night nonetheless. Not that we expected to get uber amounts of numbers out there across the whole night, but it was good to see the boys show up and have a good old crack and have a good old dip with us.
Well, mate, it's good. It wasn't something we planned way in advance. Only a week or so of promoting it, really, or not even that, really. It was Thursday, Wednesday, whatever it is. And the boys have come out and had a bit of fun, and it's free. Me and you have had an absolute blast with it. Talk underwater, talk in the rain. And it's something new, and as insightful as we want to be, it's going to be developing and growing, and rain is going to be a bigger thing than we all realize in iRacing. It's going to change the whole horizon of how it's all done now. It's going to take it to the next level, which I think is awesome.
It's also going to be a bit of a learning curve for us and give us, as broadcasters, to learn more about how rain actually affects cars. Obviously we know, we hope to know a fair bit about how to drive in the dry, but now it's a completely different ball game. Where we're all going to have to cut laps in the wet, learn what it's like to drive in the wet, so we have those stats to go off, and to go off. Instead of just bullshitting, we actually can say, look, we've driven in the rain, we've attempted this. It is actually a lot harder than what people think and what they expect. And even from people saying this week and first testing it out, they have, they've said it's so much harder than what we could have ever thought it would be, but it is so realistic in the fact of, this is what it's like to race in the rain in real life. And it really goes to show how good real life race drivers are to be able to drive in these 100%. Sorts of conditions.
And we'll find that different cream will rise to the surface.
Oh yeah,
over the course of the next 6 months.
And we'll get some risers out there. Some drivers who maybe struggle in the dry, who are actually a lot better driving in the wet.
Maybe might be one of those creams that rise to the top, mate. I don't know.
No, I think you're going to be more I think you're going to start turning into more of a Beyblade out there, just absolutely spinning just at a consistent rate. But nonetheless, it was great to have everyone join us here tonight. Of course, it was a great show. As always, good to be able to test out how we would be able, or how I would be able to run with the rain. I would hope that JP is going to be in a similar position as myself, and so will Shibby, coming in for Season 2 of next season. This is really the only info we can give you for next season, is that the SF24 is coming in for the F3, and we're going to have rain. We can't give any updates on series that are happening. Hopefully we can get those happening, that news happening within the next couple of weeks prior to the end of the season, so we can start selling it and pushing it out to people and just saying, hey, you want to come racing, at the possibility of new series happening and stuff like that, then that's kind of when that news will start to kind of drop and then really be pushed out. But so much content already on offer for our drivers, but also for anyone who watches us as well. Sync, obviously, you know, I go through the motions of going through every single race series every single night that I broadcast. I'm not going to put everyone through that you know, here tonight. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well. There's so much more to come in 2024. We have got so many series on offer already. 6 nights of racing. If you want to catch up on any of the seasons for any of the series from this season, all 6 of them are available in playlists on the channel. You can go and check them all out there. Every single one is separated into their own category in the playlists. You can catch up on them, whatever ones you want to. So you're ready to be able to catch us for the end of this season with 3 rounds to go as of Tuesday night. So it's going to be a big end to the season. A lot of the championships are incredibly close. They're incredibly tight. You know, obviously we're going to have the F1 races happening, which I think we probably will broadcast the in-between season races. So then,
100% we will.
so then we can continue
F1
with
Shadow
that.
Series will continue right through.
And
Look,
that'll go
eyes
into its
open.
own playlist as well. So if you guys only want to be here for the F1 Shadow Series, obviously those guys will also change over to the SF24. You know, it'll pretty much be round 9 will happen for F3s. And that'll be it. The F3 will be gone. The next F1 round, which will happen in between season 1 and 2, that'll be the first showing of the SF24 on a broadcast for us in an actual league race. And all of those races will also get put into their own separate playlist as well into the channel. So if you guys only want to be able to follow that one instead of just following the actual the season by season standings, you can follow the yearly one for those races. Obviously, they're kind of cherry picked throughout the year. So much more content to come. The return of Shibby into the broadcast booth for next season. I'm sure he'll be back for supercars. And whether I take a step back and just go back to doing F3s and IMSA, or if I'm in the booth with him.
Shibby might come back and do other things with us. So we're not sort of well, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. There's a lot of things that's bubbling in the background right now. So keep your eyes and ears open. There's a lot of things that we're doing that are going to happen soon, and some really, really exciting stuff that Dean and I have been working on in the background for the last 3-4 months. So keep your eyes and ears open, and stay tuned to our Discord and our socials, because we'll start to release some tidbits as things become real.
And hopefully as well, we can get our little in-between season special events happening too, which would be like one event in between seasons just to get people, you know, still on track in between our seasons. They would almost be like a mini championship in themselves. It would be one race,
we
special
try
event.
to do everything every break. Keep people.
Yeah.
People. When I tell people, oh, we've got a break of 3 weeks, they go, "What? That's too long."
Yeah, but like in between those 3 weeks, the middle week would have a special event that then it might, you know, and the special events, we've spoken about it previously, would be, you know, a different style of race across the whole, you know, in between each season.
We've tried lots of stuff.
Yeah.
We did the downhill. We haven't done downhill yet. We've done the uphill racing at Washington. We haven't done a downhill yet. One of the events that we had planned last year was to do a downhill, no fuel, all the way down Washington.
Like a soapbox style thing with the Formula E.
Yep. We want to do some enduro stuff as well. So there'll be listen out, keep out, keep your ears open, and you know, like and subscribe. Join our go to www.simracingworld.com.au and become a registered driver with us, so that you can have access to our Discord, and from there you'll see what's going on as well at a quicker rate than what you will see at socials. We release things usually to the members before we do it to the real world, and usually do that by 2 weeks or so. So you get to get things a bit earlier. Look, anyway, me and Hamish can talk all night. Thank you for sitting with us for 3 hours of racing. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to all the viewers. We've consistently had over 20 people all night watching us, which is fantastic for a Saturday night, which is some casual racing. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of the heart. Hamish?
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you, everyone who joined us as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series. Stay safe, stay dry in iRacing from now on. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you later.
Yes.
amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.